This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.
Hello and welcome to episode 153 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Cassie Gibbons, and joining me this fine evening, as always, the corn husker himself, Mr. Jerkum.
You know what I had for supper last night?
Hamburgers?
No, a bunch of husked corn.
You're weird, dude. You're weird. Also joining us tonight, the national treasure himself, Mr. Justin Nation.
Hello, boys.
Live and in picture.
Scary.
There he is. Yeah, so
You-
this is
you
my...
ate all-
he
that's-
really did
that's-
have all that corn.
That's
That
all
was
for you.
2 meals. That was
Okay.
2 meals
Okay.
for me and my wife.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
so good. Oh my goodness, dude.
You missed it. It was
Freshly
actually... So
Freshly picked corn.
this is my first time doing the live production, right? And I already dropped the ball. But just a
How'd
tiny
you do
pitch. I didn't switch over to the 3-man cam until Justin said hello. So it was a nice reveal, you know. No one knew.
Oh, nice.
They thought it was just you and me, and then bam, that beautiful mug right in the middle.
Now, do you still have like all the others? Like, are all the name titles and stuff correct?
Yep, we're good. Yep, you got.
That happened with
over there. You
with
got
our interview
Justin.
last time. Like, I made.
Yeah, you messed up.
I made some changes like right before we started recording, but there's 2 scenes on OBS, and I forgot to change the other one, so I had to re-edit everything afterwards. It was just a jolly good time.
Classic Jerkum. Classic
Jerkum.
Yep. So, Justin, how are you? It's been a hot minute since we've had you on the show. Too long, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy. Getting stuff done, playing a lot of games. You know, all the normal stuff.
He's down to 2 reviews a day.
No, I got wise, and I've moved to mini reviews. So, and it's a much more manageable. Yeah, full reviews was. Yeah,
Man,
you
if
know,
I
after-
knew you were getting lazy, I wouldn't have had you on the show. This guy's gonna
after
come
the
on
first
with-
800, full reviews were just getting a little tough.
Now he just does 5-word reviews. With
Well, the beautiful thing was, you know, he was just down to review.
Reviews from Justin Nation.
Lightning round.
Yes, there we go.
I had to drop it. We don't have
Thank you.
5-word reviews, I think, this episode,
Not
but I had to
today.
drop the jingle at least.
But
once.
I said next time we have to. We do have Justin's the jingle king. We also have the pervert realm.
The pervert realm.
I think we're skipping on that this week too.
No, thankfully, there's nothing in that area this week.
Well, you know, Justin reached out to us almost like he had planned it with the Nindy World dropping, so we have plenty of Nindies to talk about. But I think we're going to save that for the second half of the show, and I believe we're going to get into what we've been playing now, and I believe Jerry Jerkum. Don't
Yes.
you have a little bit of a quick bite, if you will?
I do, and I really hope that you have this in order because
I do.
I'm going to be talking about Fire Emblem. You got that on there? All right, there you go.
I do, but here's the thing. That Fire Emblem one you sent me, that was that's a big image. Boom. Oh, that's Friday the 13th. Boom. We're getting it
Did
right
you not
here,
check
boys.
beforehand?
Oh, no, yeah. Well, I had it. Work with us here, folks. So it's for the audio listeners.
No, it's tough.
We have a little billboard on the middle of our display that shows the image of what we're playing. So we've got Fire Emblem Quick Bite. I'm intrigued to hear.
Yeah.
You know, how was unwrapping the shrink wrap? Was it exhilarating?
I told you last week it was great. I played it last week. It was exhilarating. But, you know, it's funny. I was in, I've been playing Mutant Year Zero, which is another strategic RPG, you know, tactical RPG. And it was funny. So now it's been like tactical RPG time, which has been great for having a baby.
Jerry Jerkum.
It's
Should
just
be
a
a jingle in
perfect,
its own right.
you know, it's not demanding at all the time. Like you can just kind of hold off and pause it.
There's
and get back to it and
there's no
think about
rush.
it.
Like the whole point
Yeah.
is to take your
RPGs
time,
are perfect for
right?
that.
And
Yeah.
think about what you're doing. So
Exactly.
whether you're
Exactly.
thinking about what you're doing or being distracted by a baby, you know.
Exactly.
So one and
So
the same, I guess.
So yeah, I've actually I beat Mutant Year Zero, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I was like, all right, I can play some Fire Emblem, and honestly, I was kind of like, man, I wish I could just play some more Mutant Year Zero. I was like, I really want to keep playing, which is a really good feeling with the game. But I've been playing Fire Emblem, and I'm really enjoying it. At the beginning, it's kind of it's
Slow.
like I'm not really interested in the story adventure game elements. Like but the nice thing is that they're done really well. So it's not like awful to go through. Like it's actually, the voice acting is really nice. The writing is good. It's not like too asinine. It doesn't take too long to get through stuff. When you're wandering around.
I feel like when I first started, like the first couple, because you're talking about, in between the actual tactical battles when you're in the monastery. The first couple times, it was like I was running around talking to everyone, like literally, like no stone left unturned, right? Like I was like, I want to get, and then as I've progressed, I've totally gotten a more like, I don't want to do any of these fetch quests really. Like I'll do my fishing if I have some bait. I'll go.
Yeah, fishing is kind of fun, right? Fishing is just a fun thing always.
I always do. I always plant, like harvest and plant some vegetables or whatever, or flowers, because those are good to give to people to try and recruit them. And usually I'll talk to a couple people here and there, and then I'm like, let's get back into the battles, or back into even that. I really enjoy the lesson aspect actually, because it's super rewarding to just see everyone's like. All
that is
like
fun.
Stats
I mean, it's always fun seeing stats go up. That's what I love about Fire Emblem. Like I love
big
like
stats here at the Talk Nintendo podcast.
We do. We always check our stats. And I love when during gameplay and like they level up and ding 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 and it's like, oh my goodness, my guy just leveled up like on 8 different things.
Oh
and it's like
baby,
the best
he
feeling
can
ever.
use a better bow now.
I'm like, come on, defense, come on, and like all that kind of stuff. So, I just honestly, I don't know what it. I mean, the only thing, it's a good world building thing, like getting to know, if you want to really dig deep and know, that way you're even more heartbroken when they fall in battle and die. That way you can be like, oh, I really knew them, and now I'm, I don't know.
They
but
were
it's
my
just,
bestest buddy.
I look through it, and it's just, you look on the map and go here, talk to them. This person says to go here, and then you go there, and then you get something,
questy.
and then
Totally.
and then boom, you're done. And you can fast travel, which is great, but it's just like, what does this really add to anything? Is this hard? No. Is this busy work? Yeah, but it does add to the world, and it does make this look like a living place you're kind of in. I get that, and it's cool. I really wish you could skip it. I mean, I really wish that I would. I would love it. I don't want to go recruit people and buy them flowers and grow them flowers to recruit them. Yeah. I just want to play the tactics game, which is really fun.
But I feel like the game does a good job of letting you do that if you want, though. So
I hope so. Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, if I can skip it, I skip it.
I mean, you can, yeah.
Yeah, but don't you miss out on stuff if you don't? I mean,
you miss out on deepening, because essentially each character sort of has
deepening your waifu love.
Yeah, you're gonna be lonely forever, Perry. No, I mean, each character sort of has their own backstory, right? So as you do these things in the monastery and bump your support level with them, you start to sort of peel the layers back on the onion and see why this person maybe acts a certain way, or why they do things the way they do, right?
Right. I
mean, you could still do that in battle, right? Because when you battle next to someone on the field, you get those hearts, right?
I know, but it's like,
so you just wouldn't, if you literally skipped all the monastery stuff, you just wouldn't be able to recruit people from other houses.
Gotcha.
So you would pretty much stick with your core team.
That's
and
fine.
it's funny, like in the beginning I was like, I got to a point, because I've barely gotten to play any Fire Emblem this week. So I was like, oh man, I'm pretty sure I'm up to a point where like I'm not gonna really be able to recruit people potentially, So I was like, I need to recruit as many as I can, So it was like just like draining all of my activity points into like tea times,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
I need to find a waifu before
I have no
it's too
interest
late.
in tea time. Yeah, I have no interest in that. I just want to play it, And anyway, but I am enjoying it. The tactics are still really good. I do think it's kind of funny, like with the. I do want to say, like, the character designs are just unbelievable. I love the Fire Emblem style they have now. I mean, they really have nailed like that really cool, unique art style of Fire Emblem, which is really cool. And the funny thing, though, it's like you don't obviously know what they are looking at them on the battle. Like, back in like the good old chunky pixel days, exactly what something is. But now I kind of have to highlight it and like, okay, who are you again? And obviously over time,
Yeah,
it's like, and what can you do? But obviously before it was like, okay, that's obviously a magic user because he has a hood on,
Yeah.
And that's the big chunky knight,
Yeah,
that's
he's
this
got
guy.
all of the
And so it is kind of, and
that
then, like,
one's on
it
a
is,
horse.
yeah, that's easy. And so it's just kind of more of a learning curve of that. And then, it's kind of harder to see on the field, like where things can go. And like there is some things that are, funnily enough, are like it's not as snappy as any of the other ones that I've played, where it's like, like for instance, if you're going to, like you hit a character and then you find its path, right? And you're like, okay, where can you go? Where can you land? And then you go, okay, well, I don't know. I'm not going to place him anywhere yet. Or maybe I want to go back to the beginning. So you hit B, and then it snaps out of that character. And it's like, I have to select him again. When I just wanted to go back to the beginning, it's just, there's kind of stuff like that where, and that might be just because I was playing a different tactical RPG and stuff. But anyway, I am enjoying it. It's fun to play through. I'm hoping that I don't, like, I don't want to skip. Luckily, like, I still see this. I mean, it's funny. It's like, do you want to teach them like manually, or do you automatically teach them like automatically? Like, I don't want to sit there and teach someone anything. Like,
I like going in there. I go in there and
that's
then
good.
Because I don't know. I'm sure you probably get more points for going in there manually. But you could pick who you want, and then like they can just randomly. Oh, you did a perfect lesson. And then you could be like, they're extra motivated, and then you can teach them an additional time, if they get perfect. And it's
like you said,
2 experience instead of just 1. So it's probably more beneficial to go in there and do it. But
I know, and that's what I don't like. I don't appreciate that as someone who doesn't want to do that. Like you know what I mean.
To be honest with you, like if you do, I mean, I understand not wanting to do it, but like. It's literally like you can get through it in like a minute. Like it's just like, oh, this person.
Yeah.
It's just
a
series of.
I'll give it a try and get going. But and you mentioned like when you're on the actual field, like if you stand next to someone, and they'll, and it's like
little hearts.
I'm not making my decisions on the field just so I can see like, okay, but I really wanted to stand next to him. So I'm not going to attack this enemy. I'm not doing that at all. That's just like a helpful bonus.
And that's
so
how you end up with no waifu, Bo. No waifu.
It feels like retrofitting.
It's always been like that.
New ideas into an old system. I guess it's always been that.
That's how it started originally. Because you didn't.
No, but it's like
you didn't have in between the battles. Like you would get the supports by battling next to each other on the field.
But. In this game, can you not team up with other units? Like,
I don't think you like how in the previous ones you could literally like join together on one.
Yeah,
I don't think you can.
Like in Awakening, that was like one of the coolest things.
You do get the elements when you use. I'm blanking on the word, but like how
battalions.
You can get like gambit boosts when you're next to certain peoples, and you use that. But I don't think you can. You can't actually like link up.
There is a lot going on in the game, and I don't fully understand it. I mean, that's how it is with me in RPGs a lot.
What's new?
Yeah, and so I learn stuff over time, and like their combat arts and their gambits and their battalions. I still don't really fully understand that, but anyway, it's good stuff. This has been too big of an appetizer. We can move on.
That was a hard. Yeah, they
That's
brought
quick.
the main course
And
first.
Justin's getting he's losing his lung
Man,
capacity
Justin
talking
looks
about
like he looks like a big time Mets fan right now with that orange wall and the blue seat.
it.
Big Mets.
It's not orange. It's
What is
brown.
Chocolate brown.
Copper brown.
Copper brown.
All right. It's funny actually because I'm looking at OBS now and it definitely looks more brown, but on the other screen it looks he's gone. It looks way more orange. I'm gonna pretend it's orange and I'm gonna pretend you're a Mets fan. But
Okay.
moving along here, Perry, you've got another quick bite, right? And make it quick for Pete's sake.
No, I don't want to do it now. Let's split it up.
No.
Silly Wilkie.
Well,
Why would I do two in a row?
because
No,
they're
I want to
quick
talk more in
bites.
depth about. This next one's not going to be a quick bite, so
So you lied to me.
I did. I totally
queued
lied
up
to
the
you.
thing.
See, it's your
Unbelievable.
first time live producing. I wanted to throw in some keep throwing those curveballs,
You
Bobbit.
big old Jim bot. All right.
Yeah,
Let's
sorry,
move on to
I'm sorry.
Justin. We need to hear Justin's beautiful voice. What
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
what are we going to start out with, Justin? You've got two games to talk about.
Yeah, starting out with Friday the 13th, the game.
Boom, baby.
I have
Let's
that.
hear about it.
So, I mean, everybody should be well aware of the Friday the 13th series. So, the idea is it's a sort of a asymmetric multiplayer game where one person's going to take the role of Jason, and then the rest of the people are, basically the counselors are, trying to string together some sort of solution to get away. So, it's a matter of who you're playing and what your focus is. So, if you're playing as Jason, your job is to methodically chase down all the counselors and kill them all.
And end their
surprise.
lives.
Yeah,
Mhm.
give them flowers. It's what he does. It's sort of that it's sort of entertaining in that way that Jason isn't terribly fast. So the thing I always laugh about is sort of the I always call it the way he pursues people is he Pepe Le Pews them. So they're running desperately, and he's just chilling, taking his time. But the way it works, so you sort of get the behind the scenes that he's got different sort of powers that he can use. So he has a periodic on a cooldown. He can sort of do a quick shift where he can it's almost like Evil Dead style. Like when you see the first person perspective of the evil flying through the forest, it feels a little bit like that. You'll get a brief thing where you can move really quickly and sort of get ahead of somebody.
Oh, okay.
Then you can sort of see where people are. You get another one where you can it'll highlight buildings that somebody might be in, but there are different tactics, like if they turn on a radio or things like that can sort of throw you off. But your job is just to methodically chase down people and kill them. On the flip side, if you're playing as one of the counselors, your job is to there's a couple different ways you can try to call the cops, and then you end up having to sort of get to the edge to escape. There are cars or maybe even a boat, depending on the level. But those are sort of a multi-stage thing where you're going to have to get some gas. You're going to have to get this thing into shape that you can actually get it going, and then you even have to drive it off to the edge of the map. And so there, once you get that car going, that's still not quite enough. You're going to have to actually get away. So it's one of those things where, because I really enjoyed asymmetric multiplayer before. There used to be a game called Evolve that was out on PC, which was actually a game
on Xbox One.
Yeah, it was on
also.
consoles too, and it was one of those. It was really fun when you played with good people, and it was interesting. I never liked playing the monster particularly, but I liked a couple different roles, and that was a really interesting game. And this is about the same, where it's tricky. Do you enjoy being Jason? Do you not like being Jason? You might get thrown into that. Are you playing with counselors that don't have a clue, or are you playing against, it's one of those. That's one of the things about it, and some people really enjoy sort of that uncertainty, and it being a new game every time, and that does enhance that feeling when you don't know what to expect in terms of the people that you're trying to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But that can also be really frustrating, certainly. So it's one of those games. Runs reasonably well on Switch. Looks reasonably good. Some of the animations can be a little weird, like when you're Jason trying to, hack at somebody. There can be some little strange interactions going on where things don't quite line up, or it looks a little goofy.
I've seen
But,
I've seen the chokehold, but like the counselor's like 2 feet away, so it looks like he's like Darth Vadering it, like
Yeah.
he's forced to choke him.
Yeah.
Now you said you didn't like playing the monster in Evolve, but do you like playing as Jason in this game, or are you still more in favor of being one of the counselors?
Well, I think this one. I mean, because the tricky part of the monster in Evolve was everybody was chasing you. So that's sort of what I didn't like. It was like
so it
you were
felt
Yeah.
unfair almost.
Well, and you could certainly kill everybody as the monster. I mean, you could get to the point where you were jacked up to the point you could pull that off. But it was really hard because you had 4 people in pursuit and you had to sort of isolate them and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't bad, but for the most part, it just sort of made me too nervous. Like, it just got me all jittery.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jason, it's much more methodical. You're the one chasing them down. Like, you might get frustrated if you can't find the last 1 or 2 people. That can certainly be tricky because since you don't move very quickly, you end up having to jump around the map, and you have to sort of guess at where they might be. It's like you have to be a little methodical. Okay, I've been in this spot. I didn't see anybody, so let's try this other spot. And all those things are on cooldown, so you can't do it too quickly. But yeah, Jason, he's a tank, but he moves slow. So you definitely have to have a plan and sort of try to guess it. Okay, this is where the car is. Let's give that a try. But overall, I think for the crowd that likes it, like I know a lot of people really enjoy the game. For the right people, I think it's probably a great option. If you've not ever played a asymmetric multiplayer game, if the horror thing is it's pretty violent. If the horror thing is something you like or don't mind, might be a good place to jump in and try it out. There are some other games out there that are sort of similar, Dead by Daylight and things like that. But this is a respectable sort of entry and something worth checking out. It's out on physical, so if you're into physical, it's already out there.
And,
I'm the plug. I did an unboxing of this game actually.
And
I
it
have
was
this game.
spooky.
And it is a little spooky. So just saying, you should go and check it out on NWRTV.
Comes with a packed-in poster for the Switch.
It does, yeah. Hey, did you get the physical version?
Yeah, I was sent the physical version.
Nice, yeah.
So
it's actually a really cool poster too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I got a download code of this game, and I know we were all trying to sort of play a little bit before the servers, or before it released, and there weren't too many people playing. I haven't gotten around to getting back to it, because I've heard so many things about this game when it came out originally, on other consoles a while back. So I'm definitely interested. Have you noticed there are more, I don't know how much you've played of it, did you have a problem getting into a game with a bunch of other people, or was it always sort of like a half-full game?
I didn't have too many problems, but I sort of, when I actually was having a chance to play it, it was sort of at a prime time. It was like I was playing on the weekend toward the evening, so you'd expect so there wasn't a problem finding anything then. But if you're trying to get on, middle of the day in the morning, but that's sort of a problem for all especially the independent games on Switch that they don't have cross-platform. It's a tough ecosystem. You really have to hope that people get into it.
I love the concept of this game, though. I think it's such I love how it's just now. I am not a horror movie buff. I really don't. I've never seen one of these movies. I just have never wanted to. I don't know, but I love the concept.
He's a big baby. That's why.
Oh yeah, I love the concept of having a really, close to the original material game, ode to it. I love the idea that this is really simulating what Friday the 13th, right?
Yep.
I always get that mixed up with Halloween.
That's
always.
Freddy Krueger, baby.
Yeah. No.
That's not Miranda.
That's Elm Street. Yeah.
Man,
I know those three. I know, Michael Myers. I always get Michael Myers. Dude, I recorded the unboxing and I was then I was sitting there oh my, did I get that right? Is it Jason? I was like, or is it Michael Myers or whatever his name is? I was like, no, Mike Myers. He's in Wayne's World. That's not.
Yeah.
Um,
Party on,
Slightly
guard.
different one.
Anyway, I think it's a really neat idea. So
Yeah.
yeah, we should play sometime. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I've heard it's really, 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 really gruesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like really gruesome.
Yeah, that's more as you come along. Like as you level up, you get more access to different versions of Jason because initially you have to sort of take the default, but you get access to different things and then more gruesome finishers and that kind of stuff too. Yeah, so they try to at least give you an incentive to keep playing. Something new. Keep you sort of coming back and check it out and oh man, that one's awesome. So yeah, that I think that helps sort of be a hook to keep you going.
Gotcha.
I know one of them, he like punches a hole through your chest and then like the camera zooms around the back and then like zooms through the hole in the chest just to his like face, like in the mask.
That's amazing.
I can imagine the team probably had a blast coming up with different finishers for that gun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any final words on Friday the 13th, or have you said your piece?
No, it's like most indie games. It's not going to be a game for everybody, but it's definitely a worthwhile thing if that kind of thing is what you're looking for. Like I said, it's really a horse race between this and Dead by Daylight. I think I like this a bit better. Dead by Daylight feels more wonky to me, but I know there's fans of both. So
Cool.
Sweet.
Well, Casey, I would love to hear about a game that you've been playing.
Oh, would you now?
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that it's an old RPG that's being re-released on the
Yes,
Switch.
sir. It's part of a collection, actually. Yes.
Is it?
Yes, I have been playing Grandia 2 for the Switch.
The second one.
Dos Equis. Yes. Yeah, it released the collection 1 and 2 HD, so you got your nice widescreen and all that. And this is a nice JRPG back from the year 2000, originally released on the Dreamcast.
Year 2000.
Yeah. Y2K, ball. Yeah, so I've never played any game in this series. I believe there's 3 games. Obviously, this is collection 1 and 2. I think the third one came out a little bit later, and I believe that's it. But what it's known for is sort of its battle system. And it is definitely interesting. So you sort of have like a timeline in the bottom right-hand corner, and like you see your little portraits of your characters, and then the enemies. So they move along, obviously, and that's not really that crazy, right? Like they're time-based turn battles. But what it does is there is 2 points on the bar that it gets up to, sort of like your select your commands and then actually doing the commands. So what's interesting about it is, and it's funny because at first I didn't really they don't really give you too much about what's going on, because they're like you can select combo or crit, and you're like, well, why the heck wouldn't I want to pick crit? You know what I mean? Like I want to hit critical attacks. Like sure, why? That's weird that that's an option.
Mm-hmm.
But you later find out through a tutorial at the first, I've been to I think 3 or 4 towns now, and at the first 3 there was like a beginner's tutorial guy, then like an intermediate, then advanced, and I'd recommend if you play it to talk to him because they give you much needed information on how how you could really capitalize on the battle system. But essentially what a crit is, it allows you to cancel an enemy's attack. So if they get up to that first part of the first area on that bar where they're selecting their moves and who they're going to attack, if you hit them in that window from when they select to when they actually go to execute it with a crit, you're going to cancel their attack, and then they're going to go way back on the bar. So that's really beneficial because obviously then they don't get to attack.
And that's like real time? Is that like...
It's real time until it gets up to when you could pick, then it stops, and then no movement on the bar happens.
I'm trying to think, it's kind of like Mario and Luigi or Paper Mario. Like, you know how you can kind of cancel attacks and like, are you doing stuff? Like, are you timing something?
Well, it's different. So it's like, I mean, it is timing it, but not in the sense of a Mario and Luigi game where it's very much like I'm waiting to hit a button. It's very much like, okay, I'm going to see oh, like the timing looks right where this guy's just outside of where he's gonna pick, I'm gonna try and crit him, because by the time, and it's, you're in like a 3D space, and you actually, so once you get to that part where, okay, I'm going to go execute my move now, the character still needs to make their way to that enemy that it's going to hit. So you need to factor that in. So it's not just like an automatic hit. So there is a little bit of like, in the beginning, like you need to learn, okay, and you can adjust, like you'll get like abilities or there's a literal move stat which increases how far you can move, and I believe how quick too. So that, you know, that all factors in as well. But you can also, now combo is like, it's just like your sort of standard attack, but it hits him twice. And you can also actually, if that times up to the point where it's like right before they're going to do their move, you can counter it, and that won't cancel them all the way back, but it'll knock them back a little bit. But then they'll still do their move.
I love that idea. I think that's a good.
Yeah,
sounds like it's very satisfying if you pull it off.
And then there's also, there's an evade option, which again, like I didn't really even notice what this was at first, but there's and the tutorials again sort of explain it. You hit evade, and that could be something where it's like maybe you want to time it differently and the timing isn't right. You can evade over here to buy some time, and you can also move out of that enemy's range, because there are some times where you go to attack an enemy and like they'll get blocked and they'll have to go like the long way around, and then eventually they like sweat comes out of their head, you know, and they're like, oh, like, nope, I guess I'm not moving, you know, I've exhausted my how much I can do this action. But it's fun because the one character, like I got into a boss battle, if you will, and they're really strong. So I was just like rallying, like, and I got to the point where I was like, man, my character is like, I don't have tons of life. Like I need to just, I'm going to keep critting this guy and keep just canceling his moves. And like he would get a move off every once in a while, but like it was satisfying to be like, sure, I'm not hitting as much damage as I probably could if I was just comboing him back, you know, nonstop, or using magic or whatever. But to crit him, I'm getting damage in, and he's going back. Oh, then my next character so it took him a really long time to actually get to perform an action. And like you said, it feels satisfying to the point where it's like, well, that's right, you know, Jimmy, you ain't hitting me. Yeah. You ain't hitting me, Jimmy.
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, it sounds like the funny crit is like you're still like almost building a combo of sorts of like how to, like with your team, like how to.
Yeah, if you rally him, and like it's satisfying when you hit him with that crit. Back knocks him back, and then you have your second character hit a combo. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like sometimes
that's awesome.
the timing works out where you'll have a couple enemies attack at once, and it's fun to just see like chop, 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 chop. You know, like on both sides your enemies are attacking and stuff. And then you get all sorts of different currency. I love when you finish a battle and it's so 2000s old school, like. You know, they do their little celebration, and then it just, like, this screen, and you see, like, experience goes up, coins go up, you know, money, this, and this, like, all these little bars sliding, and it's super satisfying. And now, the beginning is a little slow, and it's, like, the story is, like, essentially...
you're not an RPG with a slow beginning.
You're a geohound. And so, which is pretty much like a mercenary, you know, like you go out but like they have a bad rep, like they're like, oh, they're dirty, low life, like they'll kill anything for money, this, that, and like your
what
guy,
Justin does for them.
Yeah, and your guy's sort of like, you know, like a brute, like he's like a kid. I feel like he's like a kid or maybe like a teen, like a 18-year-old, you know, like
a punk.
Oh, I've got attitude,
teen.
yeah, punk, you know, and
like
you know, yeah,
a punk like teen.
Ryudo the punk. And like, so you take on this job to like, oh, you need to escort this girl to this tower, and you do that, and then like she's a part of like the church. She's like a sister, and she's going to perform some ritual. And like, this is pretty early in the game, so I don't think it's really that spoiler-esque. Essentially, things go wrong at the tower, and then like. Now you need to get her to a different area, so now you're sort of like, you've taken on like being her bodyguard essentially. and then you run into other people. And what's interesting is like, so it's like, okay, like I got that storyline, but as I'm working my way to the cathedral, which is our target area, you run into a town and like, oh, there's a problem in this town, and then like she, being like a church like, a sister, very religious and like we need to help people. She's all gung-ho, like, come on, we need to help these people, and you're sort of like, oh, I have a job, I want to get you to your spot, and that's that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about helping people. But it's definitely ramping up, and, like, I don't know how, like, spoiler-esque. Like I said, I think I'm 5 or 6 hours in, but essentially, like, the devil is sort of, like, Valmar is sort of, he was sealed away, and he's trying to break out, essentially, and, like, you're sort of seeing imprints of his, like, and where he is, you know what I mean? So, like, and how he's breaking out, and, like, that's sort of how you're sort of chipping away at trying to, like, seal it back up. I don't know. But it's definitely, in the beginning, it was a little slow, and I'm now starting to get more invested in the story, so.
That's good.
Yeah, like, and now, the one bad thing is there's some definite slowdown.
Oh,
Not during adventuring, really. It's more so when you're in battles. There'll be some, like, when they're running it, like, and you hit an enemy, like, it'll slow down pretty good on you, which is sort of annoying because the battles, aren't too drawn out, but they're not short. You know what I mean? So, like, having the slowdown is sort of like, ugh. And then, like, there have been some weird finicky things with the music during battles, which is, like, to me, like, it's annoying, I guess, but not like game breaking. Like, the slowing is definitely very annoying.
Yeah.
So that's,
I do want to mention. I meant to mention this last time. Look, it's funny because cool thing about Fire Emblem, perfect game for Switch, right? Is that it's and this all RPG, perfect for Switch because you can play them usually. Then you can play them anywhere, on the toilet, watching TV, whatever.
John.
And then, but it was funny. I forgot to mention the music is awesome in Fire Emblem. Putting it on the TV. That was really fun. I mean, having the TV experience, which I've never played the console Fire Emblem games, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Fire Emblem's good tunes.
But I was gonna say, like, playing this Grandia 2, music might not be the biggest deal, like, because you might be just playing, like.
Well, I will say it's actually got some nice music. Like, I do enjoy.
Is it? Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, oh my god, music. It's like, I mean, it's battle music that sort of like dips down sometimes, like like a little thing like. Where it almost reminds like the Final Fantasy bug, where it's like, yeah, that's a little annoying, I guess, but it's not like gonna ruin my time,
Right.
And then I guess the last thing I'll touch on is just sort of how you adventure. It's pretty linear so far, which I'm not complaining about, but it's where it's like, okay, I'm in a town, I need to go here. Oh, I'm going through a forest, and then you go, like, through a section of forest, and there's some little branching paths, but there's pretty much just a beginning and an end, Oh, forest 2. Oh, forest 3. Oh, you're in the town, And, like, when you exit out, it goes to, like, a little overworld map, and you go to the town. Which, like, I don't mind at all, but just for anyone, like, it's not going to be, like, a big open world or anything. Yeah,
sounds awesome to me.
I like it, but just so everyone sort of knows.
I think, Justin, do you ever play? I feel like I never hear you talk about RPGs ever. Do you play RPGs?
RPGs, when I get them, are like death. I mean, because I mean, obviously, too long. So I'll get them and I'll do my best to try to play. But yeah, I don't have.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
20 or 40 or
let alone 80. Yeah, so
I can give a cursory review of 5 hours or something. Yeah, that's about all I can really invest.
Cool.
Well, speaking of RPGs, Perry, you got another one, don't you?
I do. Yeah, my favorite kind of RPG.
And this was dubbed a quick bite at first.
This was dubbed a quick bite, but I thought, you know what? Let's go full out because
we're still getting the quick bite billboard.
It's definitely gonna be a game that I'll talk about on my top of the year. Which, Justin, we'll have to have you back on. Justin needs to come back. Which that's probably when we'll have you on next, if we don't have you on before, is for our top games of the year. And that is Mutant Year Zero. And So the first one is called Road to Eden, and then this is the DLC, Seed of Evil. So I beat Road to Eden. I beat an RPG.
Holy,
and then
you
I went
beat a
on.
game in general.
I went on and actually played the DLC and beat that too.
Man, that's weird.
Almost,
DLC.
and I know. I don't know if I've ever beaten DLC ever, and I'm dead serious because I never done. But it was included in the the complete edition or whatever I have. And I just I was just like, I can't get enough of this game. And it was funny because we were talking last week, Casey. I thought like you checked it and it was like, okay, the campaign's around like 13 hours. And I was like, oh, well then I must be pretty close. And I was actually pretty close to being done. I didn't know it. I thought this game could be 40 hours. It could be 60. I have no idea.
Yeah,
it could
it's
be
one
20.
of those, who knows, yeah.
And they definitely did the right thing here by understaying their welcome because I am
He was salivating.
I've decided. I thought this was a Tetris thing, where you play Tetris so much that when you go to bed, you see the blocks falling when you close your eyes. But the more I realize, it's just any game that you play intensely for a long time, that happens no matter what. And so I literally was like, I went to bed. I actually was like in my head playing. Yes, I was playing like battles of like me going here and attacking this way in my head. I mean, it was just I played it so much. I was totally like addicted
man.
to this game.
That happened to me. I would just remember caddying, sitting on like a grass hill, just like.
Yeah. No, and so it really got me. So you beat the game. Cool. I won't spoil anything. Cool plot twist at the end. I mean,
Don't
the whole
blow
game
it.
is very, very cliche.
I want to ask,
it's
real
great.
quick before you continue on. Do you know how long it's free on the Epic Store for anyone who's listening?
I don't. Yeah. Everyone go down. It's free on PC right now, or on the Epic Store. The Mutant Year Zero. Go download it, and I would recommend if you play PC games. Obviously,
Well,
do
isn't that sort of what you were saying last week? Is like it was an amazing game, but a crappy port, so it might be better to. All right, hold on.
Yeah, my Justination 5-word review is very amazing game, crappy port.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's free until the 22nd, which is the day this releases. So if you're listening on opening day, go get it quick,
guys.
Go
Seriously.
get it quick.
It's in there. I think it's just the base game, which is smart.
And
right?
also Hyper
don't
Light
give away.
Drifter, which is also a good game too, for free.
So go get those.
They've been really good games. I mean, it's a couple months.
Yeah, Fez is up next.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like I didn't know if it was
get
like
people on their platform.
Dude,
I mean, it's crazy, right?
That's all they want, man.
I don't really know. Epic Games, Fortnite. I mean, are they really trying to build a rival to Steam? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
and there's
that's cool.
Steam is, so they absolutely want, and their model is different. For developers in the Steam model, so
I love it.
They don't have the audience.
Steam needs a rival.
Dude,
I mean, they need to compete.
They're
in
tossing
the
their money
millions and millions and millions daily. Has a way to go. I mean,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So with but Mutant Year Zero, like it crashed on me. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. It probably a dozen times. Yeah, I don't know how this game got out of LuckCheck. I have no idea. No idea.
They probably played like 10 minutes. We're like, good to go.
That's crazy because
Roading Nintendo seal of quality.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. I basically figured out that it was when I played Docked, that it got the processing. It was just processing too much. It got too hot, and I think that's what's going on. I think it just got too hot, and it probably just it makes it so it doesn't melt itself, so it just turns it off. That's what I was getting to. So I literally, how pathetic is this? I'm playing the game and okay, it's getting pretty hot. I'm gonna take it out of the dock now. And then now, dude, I'm playing Fire Emblem, and
it's
I'm
like NES
it's
all over
so
again,
nice
dude.
not to worry about my game stopping. It's so nice. So it really got me thinking about stuff. But yeah, I guess it's kind of like the NES. It's just like blowing on the cartridge.
It's got to blow on it.
And luckily, you just learn. And I think this is common like I said, I'm not a PC gamer whatsoever, but I think obviously those games are, I think, notorious for kind of crashing a lot or for doing whatever. So obviously it's set up as a save thing. So I like anything of anything important to save, anything.
Yeah, that's
So,
annoying
and you
to
got
have
to
to deal with, though.
Like,
It is,
it's
and I wish
playing
there was like
Bethesda game.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing Fallout or Skyrim, save often.
Yeah, exactly.
Early and
So-
often, boys.
So I played through, and I guess I won't go into too. I mean, really, it's just like Mario plus Rabbids. It's just exactly like that with the importance on stealth. Justin, have you played this game?
No, I didn't get a chance to play it.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, I'll tell you what, Justin. It's
Now-
for free right now.
The best way I can put it is, and I told this to David, and I said he could put that in his review. But it's definitely like eating a steak, a delicious filet mignon with plasticware, like with eating with a plastic knife and a fork. I mean, that's exactly what it's like. So it's a really awesome game, and I wouldn't have played it had it not been on the Switch, had it not been portable. It works portably. It looks like garbage. It's blurry, blurry. Still works. I played the whole game. I beat it. Totally
The
fine.
endorsement. It looks like garbage. It
Dude, I
crashes.
know. That's what's so funny. Like, I'm telling you, it crashes on you. I'm afraid it's gonna melt my Switch system, but I could not stop playing it. It was so much fun. I mean, it just had the best gameplay, the strategic tactics, so much fun. I was dreaming of it. I literally was dreaming of this game.
Dog poop, but man, is it good.
delicious dog poop. So no, it's like I said, and I will reiterate, they are putting out a patch, and I don't know what fixing two of the big problems, which I hope is the graphics and the crashing. And I guess loading times are really big too. And there's let me quick.
Jesus.
Perry's
I
got
know.
a list longer than
Listen to
like
me.
Santa's. He's like,
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I mean, if you were to grade the port, I would give it an F. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, it's a terrible port, but like an amazing game. And but there's some really like hilariously bad design choices too, like in the game. I know, Justin. But like, just for instance,
Game
like,
of the year.
No, first you're just like, stop
know.
helping us.
Yeah.
I know, but like just seeing like for instance, if you want to change your gun to, like, if you want to deck out your gun, right? Like you find a scope, you can't just put it on your gun. Like you have to literally go to the Ark, the home world, then go to the garage, and then put it on there.
And then you
Now,
gotta
once you
blow
deck
on the
out your
switch
guns,
so it doesn't
you-
get
you
too
can-
hot.
Yeah, I know. And then that's like literally like a minute long loading time in between, right? Once you deck out your guns, though, you can switch your guns whatever you want, but you just can't customize your guns. So stupid. It doesn't cost money to put a scope on your gun, but apparently you lack the knowledge to do that. Just little stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like that, there is some, and then like for instance, there's not really any sort of quests in the game. Like there's no like fetch quests, but there is one part where you meet this guy and he's like, basically go get me this key. I mean, it is like a quest, but the game is not set up to do quests. And whenever they show text and people are talking, it's fully voice acted, really well voice acted. You have to wait, and he talks, and the text goes. You have to wait for them to talk of the thought of the bubble until they go. And the next one, you can't hit A to skip. You can't skip over the text. You can hold A and skip all of the text. So it's like, I don't want to listen to this. Just I know what to do, or I can read faster. So I skipped it, and then I go, okay, I don't know what to do. I figured like, if I skip it, it'll tell me what to do. There's no like quest sheet because the game's not set up to do quests. So it's like, I don't even know where to go. I don't know what to do. I can't even walk up to the guy who's standing there and hit A to talk to him again. It's like it played it, So there's just so it's like they totally shoehorned in like, well, we could technically put a quest in this way, but we have no system. We have no user interface to manage it. So it's just a lot of silliness, you know. So I think it's
Top 5 of the year, though.
This is one of the ones you want to push for the top game of the year.
It's not a top port of the year, but let me tell you, this is why I think going into this, it just needs to go to show you that how great the inherent gameplay of the strategy works is really fun. It's just really, really fun, and it got me through it. And even though on the main campaign, it crashed as I beat it, and it crashed as I beat the the DLC on both of the final enemies. You know, like it's unbelievably insane.
They just wanted you to play a little bit longer. You know,
I know. Like, and I checked. I thought, like, okay, that DLC couldn't have been that long and whatever. Like, because I kind of played through the whole DLC in one day because I'm a madman. And I checked. I had played over 30 hours. I put over 30 hours on the two things.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And I was like, well, it probably would have been 15 hours had it not been the crashes and the loading times. But so anyway,
trips to change the scope on your rifle.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and there was a little, like, on the first campaign when I beat it.
There's more.
There was literally a part where I could actually manually make it crash, and it was like you on this one girl, because I saved it right beforehand. And I'm about to basically do the final blow, and if you click over to where you can move her, like, onto one of the options, it's like once you go from here to there, it crashed 3 times.
Whatever you did, you
so I was like, well, I guess I can't move her, and now I need to change my strategy, you know. And there were multiple times, like, and then when I beat it, it was stuck. And I talked about this last week. It was like stuck in between walking in the overworld and like actual, like, fighting mode. Like, it was stuck, just a mess. I mean, just a broken mess, you know. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm giving you the tools right now to be able to play the game on Switch. If people are wanting to play it on Switch, just don't play it docked.
Don't play it on Switch.
Make sure that your
is what I think.
Make sure your glasses prescriptions are up to date, so you can, you know, see a little bit on the screen. And when it starts going for a long time, when it starts getting hot and you can hear that fan really processing, just turn it off and put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then,
maybe that's their way of saying, like, hey, you've been playing for a while. You should take a break.
It has an automatic, like, game addiction prevention because it just, you know, okay, you need to turn this off. So it's trying to help me. But like I said, if Switch is your only option and you're a sick man or woman, then you play the game. And I really enjoyed it. And I know.
It definitely sounds
call me cray cray.
You should wait for the patch at bare minimum. If you're gonna play on the Switch. If you're gonna play on the Switch. Yeah,
I definitely am liking it a lot more than Fire Emblem. So
well,
I definitely liked it a lot more than that. But Fire Emblem hasn't crashed on me. Anyway, so check out. Really, I will definitely update it. It's like this game is physical. It's like, I can't believe in like 10 years someone's gonna play Mutant Year Zero and they won't be able to update it on the Switch, and it's like,
man, this game's hot garbage.
How does this game get past it? You know, just crazy, right?
Well,
but like I said, amazing game, crappy port.
Enough railing on that port of a great game. Now, Justin, you've got another port and a newly announced port, I believe, to talk about, don't you?
Yeah, this is getting a little ahead. But Hotline Miami.
Boom.
Oh.
And this is the collection. Right?
It was freshly announced on the Nindy Direct, or the Nindy World.
Indie World Showcase.
Indie World. Yeah, it's a series that, like, getting to be one of the last indie games that was really big, that I was shocked hadn't made it to Switch, because the original in particular, it's a very pixelated kind of, it has a very unique look. It's very zoomed, very pixely. So it obviously wasn't, a terribly demanding game visually. And since Nintendo hasn't had any of its inclination towards censorship or pulling back on anything, the rampant violence and everything else isn't a problem. But it's not a terribly long game. I'll definitely say that. So that maybe that's why it being a collection where you get both the original and the sequel is a good thing, because they aren't neither of them is terribly long, but it's a very intense game. So it's all about coming in. Sometimes you'll start with just your fists. Sometimes you might have a very simple weapon, but you're going to have to sort of scope out where all the enemies are, and a lot of them beyond walking in a patrol kind of setup. And you're going to have to figure out, how am I going to take everybody on this floor out? And the problem is, you can pick up a gun, but once you fire that, you've alerted other people to where you're at if you aren't careful, or if it's obviously if you pick up a shotgun, good odds that people in other rooms are going to hear it. There are some things that are a little bit quieter, but those can be tricky to get. But you're just going to. It reminds me a lot of Katana Zero in a sense that you're going to die a lot because it's a one hit kill and you're dead. You'll get shot and you'll just be splattered, splattered out on the floor and you're dead. So you've really got to be on top of really having a plan. And the one thing I like is it has a mild roguelike element in a sense that the weapons that you find or the patrols and the way people behave, it's never exactly the same. So it's not as if you can sit there and sort of string it out reliably knowing, okay, I'm going to do A and then I'm going to do this. It's definitely much more, it has just enough randomness in it that you're going to get thrown off trying to pull that off. So, a lot of the time you're going to start out, take out the first, guard or two, maybe hand to hand, knock them down, then you have to finish them. Then you might be able to get a knife. You might want to throw something that it can be a little tricky to aim that, but you end up moving through and dealing with the different enemies, and eventually you're gonna come up with a way to do it. And so initially, when you go through the game, you're just trying to survive. Period. Later, it does do scoring, so it's going to give you a letter grade and a score. And I think they have leaderboards, so that it's going to give you an incentive to sort of keep your chain going if if you want to do some score chasing. So, and that is hard, but you can get some pretty crazy things going, and it is very satisfying when you manage to clear a floor, sort of going ape, just going crazy and trying to push your advantage.
Aping out.
Yeah.
Like ape out.
Yeah, ape out. But the sequel, the first one, I think the first one is generally regarded as the better one. And I don't know what it is about the sequel that makes it where it's definitely worse. I mean, playing both, I think the sequel is not as good as the original. The art style is a little different. It actually looks a little bit nicer in a way. It's not as chunky. But just something about the feel of it isn't quite the same and isn't quite right. But it is still,
is that like the universal opinion of like the second one? Is that?
I would say universally people consider the original better.
Gotcha.
I mean, both of them have very weird storylines. The second one sort of opens. They even give you an option to skip something at the beginning with the storyline because it's a bit mature leaning. It's I could see where people could be uncomfortable. So it's definitely not about having limits. It's just going to do its thing, and it's definitely a very drugged out, tripped out kind of thing on the whole. The music, I think, is one thing people love from the original in particular. It's a very unusual kind of music that goes with it, and it sort of gets in your head. It's not a very long loop, but it's just a strange kind of thing that gets stuck in your head type of thing.
Okay.
But it's definitely, you can see why it's popular. Like I said, people might be a little disappointed at the length, but overall, glad to see it's finally on Switch. Glad to see that we're sort of running out of games that are older, that are obviously
darlings.
and it's and then the other one that's
there's not much left, is there?
Well, one of the other ones is coming up on the thing, Super Hot. That was one of the other ones that Shadow dropped. So I mean, the list keeps getting shorter of these massive indie games that people were like, why is this not on Switch yet? So
they're gonna have to start making original games. Oh boy. No, now I've heard so much about this game. My one buddy Carney is like a big fan. So I'm excited to try it out eventually. But I know you said Katana Zero sort of compares a little bit. How would you stack those up against each other in terms of gameplay? and then which you prefer more.
I mean, they're very different in a sense that perspective is the first big difference in the sense that
Top down, right?
it's top down. Yeah, it's top down shooter, and it has melee, and you can wear. There are different masks that you can wear that you unlock over time, and there are masks that favor playing. One of them, the description of the mask is Fists of Fury, so you have an advantage going melee. But for the most part, as you get going, melee gets a lot tougher the further you get in for certain situations. So you're going to want to pick up a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And so Katana Zero, I think, is more. I think it's a more original game. It varies what it's doing a little bit more. I mean, Hotline Miami is just unapologetically what it is. It's it's all about the shooting. It's all about the intensity. It's about violence. What constitutes a story with Hotline Miami? There's not a lot. It's just sort of these weird in between kind of things that don't particularly make a lot of sense. They're just sort of odd.
Almost.
Yeah, and it's just sort of odd. Versus Katana Zero, you're moving towards something. There is a story. It is weird.
Yeah,
and
that game is super weird, dude.
and the ending definitely left you wanting a sequel. So I'd say that I think I like Katana Zero as a whole better. Okay. Just because I think it does more. I think it's more interesting and varied. Mm-hmm. But there is a very, like, the thing is, one of the games I told you that it was similar. I think that's what Judge or Jidge, from back in the day. I think that's what 10 Tons. I think Hotline Miami. That's what 10 Tons was sort of shooting for. This more compartmentalized, bite-sized, intense kind of shooting kind of thing, and that's what Judge seemed to be going for. But yeah, they did not do a good job.
That was not a good way to start off my 10-ton.
It wasn't.
Adventure.
Yeah, you definitely should have started out with Neon Chrome or
Neon Chrome.
I still have not played Neon Chrome.
Neon Chrome, dude. It's gotta play so that. Good.
Tesla versus
my favorite 10 Tons.
But you did do Tesla versus Lovecraft.
Oh, that's one of my
awesome.
favorites. I could not.
That's a really good one.
That was the thing. I played Jeej, and I was like, man, this game blows, dude. Oh my god. And I was like, I don't want to play another one of their games. And then I finally played Tesla, and I was like, oh my god, this game's incredible. So I know I need to get Neon Chrome. I think I have for PC. Yeah. I have for PC.
That would be such a sweet physical release. Oh, if that was a physical release.
I think they should stack a couple, because I mean, you've got Time.
You got collection, man.
What is it? Time. Who is it? Time
Recoil.
Time Recoil.
I love Time Recoil.
Time Recoil. And then Crimson Land is old school, but I love Crimson Land.
I need to get that one. I'm waiting kind of for a sale on that one.
But they're finally deviating from form with what their next one is, that survival zombie kind of deal that looks pretty cool. I forgot what it's called. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, them sort of breaking out of their mold of doing the shooters, but I love their shooters.
I'd rather than make Neon Chrome 2.
Yeah, Neon Chrome 2 I would definitely take.
Judge 2, baby.
Such a good.
Judge 2. Judge 2.
Judge 2. All rise. All right.
Amazing.
Alrighty. Well, I think it's about that time where we take a little bit. Oop. Press the wrong one.
It's hard, right? Do you want me to do the transition?
You know what it is?
You just shut it off?
Did it load in here? It might not have. Let's hold on. We're live loading.
We're live, even though we're not live.
Yeah,
we're live in person. I mean, I'm alive.
Yeah. See, now the folks.
Jury's still out on Justin.
All right, we're going to standby. Yep, and we are back. Guys, just a quick little interlude. And you know what time it is, baby. It's not Hotline Miami time. Is
the eShop Roundup?
The new eShop Roundup. eHaw.
eHaw.
Wait, hold on.
Do you have that jingle?
It's hiding on me. I don't know why it does that. This program is weird, the jingle one. It's weird.
Probably because you're using a PC.
We're gonna start.
Shut up, Perry, you big.
Shut up, Casey. Every single time I mention anything wrong,
it's because
you're using a Mac.
When I go to edit this sucker and I'm like, wow, look, it worked perfectly. I don't have to barely edit anything. And you're spending 14 hours editing because you're Mac. Anyway,
that had nothing to do with my Mac.
I know, I'm kidding. It's just a big Jim head.
Yep.
Alrighty. So it's the new shop, the new eShop Roundup, and I believe, Perry, you've got a winner for our giveaway of Never Give Up, don't you?
I do. And
why don't you tell us who it is?
That winner happens to be Lawrence, and you can catch him on Twitter at Fallen Soul 83.
He's already given up.
He's already given up.
Oh no!
And then maybe he was.
What
born
are we doing?
in
We're
83.
giving him. We're giving him the hard. No, that's awesome.
No,
It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
Have you played Never Give Up? I bet. Well.
Yeah, Justin, did you play it?
Of course he has.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's an indie. Of course he has.
I did.
Did you give up?
I did. Well, yeah. At some point, I had to stop playing, but
he gave up.
But
you heard it here first.
I liked how
you really Casey'd it out, didn't you?
I liked how they start out with it, with being more basic, and then add more complexity. I like that setup. I thought it was a good way to sort of get into a groove and yet keep it not, instead of just throwing you the insanity all at once. I thought that was a good setup.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, we did an interview with the fellas from Massive Monster last week.
Massive Monster, yeah.
Yeah.
What nice, handsome fellas.
Yeah.
If I just can say it again, we got to have them on again. That was fun.
Yeah.
Not just because they're handsome.
Yeah. If they were butt ugly, we'd have him on. Point in case. I bring Perry back every week.
You need to get that, but I don't know why we haven't got that yet. But we have another game that we're giving away this week, because we give away a game every week because we're mad. And this week it happens to be Riot Civil Unrest.
Boom. And this is an EU code, right?
Yes.
So,
and I need to say it to everyone. If you win, you're going to have to make an EU code. There's I think we have a thing on Nintendo World Report. If you go to there and you type in like how to make a
different region account or whatever.
Account.
It's super simple.
It's really easy. You just need another email.
Yeah.
Justin has a New Zealand account. It's easy.
Yeah. I've got 4 regions. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
We cover the world.
So we're doing Riot Civil Unrest. So go check out our tweet right now, which Casey has put in the description of whatever you're watching or listening on.
You on the tube? It's in the description. You on the podcast? It's in the description. You on the John? It's in the description.
What about if you're on Spotify?
It's on the description, baby.
Nice.
Now,
so go do that.
Enough of this giving away game business. Let's talk about our picks of the week. All right. So we each have 2 picks here. So let's do our runners up first. We'll do a runners up run. And let's start with Justin to kick it off here.
Okay.
Because he's a national treasure.
He is.
All right. The runner-up that I had for this week is Milkmaid of the Milky Way, which is actually a game that I've got. But I've only played it. I think I've only played it for about a half hour. But it's sort of weird and quirky. It's an adventure game, pixel art. You start out.
Is that out yet?
Huh? No,
it's not out yet.
Okay. Not quite yet. It comes out. Actually, by the time this goes live, I think it's
okay.
out.
Cool.
It's an adventure point and click. It looks like it came from iOS or something. So it's not like the problem when you play adventure games is they get sort of obtuse, and some of the puzzle solutions they're stretching, and it can get annoying, and you feel like you need a tutorial to get through some of them. But this is, for the most part, these are sort of unusual solutions to problems, but it all feels within the realm of reasonable assumption. If you walk around and try different things enough, you'll get that idea of, this rock that I've got, it sort of looks like a crystal. Maybe I can use this as salt to make cheese. That kind of thing.
Put on my French fries.
So but yeah, it gets a little weird. It's different. It's pretty light. But I like the fact that I've played a lot of adventure games on Switch, but this just feels a little different, and it's fun. So yeah, and it's not very expensive, only $5.99, so not a bad deal.
Nice. What do you think, Fly Guy? Wow.
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 Well, that means I'm
That
next.
was
And this one is funnily enough, it's another adventure game.
Boo. I just want to say, I will never pick an adventure game for my pick of the week. Laying it out here. I hate adventure games.
A game can be... Well, hold on. Adventure games, it can be part of it, though. You mean a sole adventure game.
Like a point
You
and click?
mean a classic PC
Zelda.
point and click.
Zelda is
you
an
mean a point and
adventure
click.
game.
Like, I want to say Milkmaid of the Milky Way might be a fine game, but it will never be Casey's fine game, is all I'm saying.
You're a bigot, Casey.
Yep.
This next one is Far Lone Sales. There we go. And this is really cool looking.
Sales?
Far...
You got to go really far for those long
That's a
sales.
nice sounding name, I tell you what.
The grass is
Lone
green.
Sales. This is a really cool looking game. I just honestly, the visual style really caught me, and apparently it shows like all the rewards it's gotten from apparently game rating festivals. I don't know where they get all these awards from. Maybe it's one of them's from Nindy Spotlight on there.
Yeah, Best
But,
Lawn Award, baby.
It's like this. It's just kind of like this weird. I don't know. I don't even really know what's going on. It just looks cool. See, isn't that cool?
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic
That's like
pick of
why.
the week.
That's why I want someone to download it and just tell me.
Based on
What better
what
person
you're
than you?
holding up, it looks like it makes too much use of lens flare.
Yeah. That might be right. But it says it's a vehicle adventure game. It's just you and your machine versus the big nothing.
Oh, baby.
So
Well,
kind
there
of
you
looks
have
like
it.
a. See, yeah, it's a kind of like a post-apocalyptic, like it says decaying civilization thing.
He's
I kinda
still
like
stuck
those
in
things.
Mutant Year Zero.
I totally am.
And
Yeah, dude.
that one's $14.99, and Milkmaid of the Milky Way $5.99. I don't know if we said the price there.
There we go.
All right, my runner-up here, we got It'll Do for $9.99.
It'll do.
This is the
Yeah, I
little
was thinking about that one.
Zelda-style game, right? It'll Do 2 came out, I believe, a couple years ago because I got it for Christmas, and I still have yet to play it. I'm sorry, Randy. I do plan on playing it one day because I love the aesthetic. Of
Honestly,
this
the
game.
first one looks better. I kind of like. I love
the look of the game in general, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
It's really cute. And the idea is
It'll
it's
do.
not Zelda, but
It'll do.
it'll do. And it looks. And I reviewed the second one for NWR, and it was the strength it had was the puzzle.
Yeah, definitely.
The
The
puzzles.
dungeons are freaking hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked it. I thought that the combat was weaker than
Yeah.
a Zelda game. It didn't feel as good,
Mhm.
but it's cute and really funny dialogue. Wish it had more. It was really funny, like hilarious boss and stuff like that. I remember waking up early and playing that game. But yeah, I definitely want to get this one too. It'll do.
Sweet.
I think it was originally pitched as a Zelda game to Nintendo. Also.
And they're
Little
like,
factoid.
beat it, kid.
And they're
Beat
like,
it.
I think we're gonna make our own Zelda games. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah, we've got a
They
couple
said-
in the
they said-
pipeline.
Said we'll call it It'll Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Justin.
And-
What's the pick of the week, baby?
My pick of the week is Rad. And it's the pedigree behind it, since it's made by Double Fine, definitely captures some interest. But once you use the
Distributed
words,
by Bandai Namco.
well, it's distributed, yeah.
Yeah.
But once you put the words roguelike action game together, you've got my interest. Yeah,
Right.
I love roguelikes.
This game looks pretty funny, right?
Yeah, and definitely it looks like it's
Out
got some
there,
creativity with that. You're gonna, as you take on more radiation, you end up mutating and having stuff that's gonna help you out in different ways. So, it was one of those at PAX that it was like off to the side, so I missed it. And I never got a chance to check it out. So I've been excited to finally check it out. Finally,
Did you get a code to check it out?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay.
hopefully-
Is this one that? And I know you generally don't have time to play games that like you're not covering. Is this one you'd go out of your way to pick up and cover at an interest? If you don't end up getting a code?
at some point, yeah. I mean,
Those
I
don't
finally
exist anymore, Casey.
I finally picked up Celeste. I mean, so every once in a while, yeah, I'll finally break down and try to play something that everybody's been talking about that is of interest.
I will
Yeah.
say this game really lacks color. It's just a not very colorful
very
game
dull.
at all.
Yeah,
It's
I was
like
actually
the most colorful games I've ever seen. It looks amazing.
I was gonna be on the review for the site, but my parents are visiting this week, so it's just like too much stuff going on, unfortunately. But yeah, it totally looks super cool.
It does look cool.
All right,
You
Perry.
can pre-purchase it. Actually,
What's-
no, it's out right now, $19.99.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's your hot pick of the week?
Okay, so nicely done. It's super hot, and this is interesting because so this is the game Super Hot. This is the game that convinced me that VR was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it really was like, okay, I feel like I'm in a freaking action movie, and it's awesome because. And now that's why I don't really understand how this game is going to work without VR. I think it'd be awesome in Labo. I think they could do it. I wish I think they've heard they're not doing it. It's amazing because it's not a high, it's really low polygon. But this game, when I played it, and I played it with a broken toe, and that was awful. But it's so funny, the VR. I know.
That's probably why you
have to play
stunk at
standing
it.
up.
That broken toe.
No, it was fun, dude. I mean, what it is the idea is you move. Time moves when you move. So if you're staying still, time's still. So as you move, and so you're dodging bullets, and then you're grabbing guns, and then you're shooting people all in slow motion. It is so cool. It is so cool. I don't know if I want to play it on Switch at all. Like, I think they could do something cool with the Joy-Cons and in VR. Obviously, that seems like it'd be really hard to do, but because I played it on what's one of the big VR?
Oculus or
PC?
Vive, one or the other.
Vive. I played it on Vive, and it was pretty accurate and cool. But like I said, I don't know how this game would be. I'm interested.
The VR version was actually a conversion. It was originally not a VR game. So
Interesting.
yeah,
It seems like because. Do you know how crazy it is, the feeling of actually, like, you're seeing this bullet come
Grabbing.
towards you, and you actually, like, move out of its way? It's the coolest thing. Like, it's like, oh my goodness, it just went under
Proof of
my arm.
concept,
It's so neat. So I think it's a really cool game, and it's $24.99. I don't know how long it is. I don't think it's that long.
I don't think it's supposed to be that long.
Yeah, but it's just interesting in the sense. So people should. I mean, I guess it was kind of a pretty big hit on the in the Indie World Showcase thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, my final game here for the pick of the week, we've got Arcade Archives vs. Gradius for $7.99. A little throwback. I always love a good shoot 'em up. And I've always loved Gradius. I think it was the third one for Super Nintendo back in the day. That was one of the staples in my house that, like, I can literally remember playing that game since, like, I can remember anything else, but, like, one of those early time games. And I always enjoyed the series, so another good arcade. I always, you know what I do?
Always, I say the same thing.
The first time I nail it because I'm like, all right, Arcade Archives, boom. And then the
Yep.
second one I get cocky and I'm like, arcades.
Archives.
Arcades, yeah, whatever.
I know, dude. It's awful.
Yeah, $7.99, another good one, and boom, boom. But
Cool.
Perry, that is the
Yes.
end of the eShop Roundup.
That's the end of the eShop Roundup. And do you know what that means, Justin?
It's time for news.
Time for the news.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Yes,
All right.
with me.
Yeah, there you
Boom.
go.
Yep. Now,
We can't hear the jingles. I'm just guessing.
Now this is going to be a bit of a doozy because I've got a few tidbits, and then we're just gonna get into the Nindy world. So it's gonna pretty much just flow right into it.
Cool.
First off, we've got Tetris 99 Cross Fire Emblem,
Ooh.
capitalizing on that waifu power.
Those are like two of the games that I play when Casey's talking on the podcast. This is
Yep.
perfect.
Perfect. Now you can get them all in one.
There you go.
Look, it's your boy.
Yeah.
Is he your waifu?
It's, Sylvan?
No,
Yeah.
he's the ladies' man. He wouldn't be interested in you. Now
Thanks
we've
for telling
got,
me.
yeah. Well, that's the one. Is he in your class? Well, I guess you
I don't
probably
think so.
pick.
No.
He's the easiest to recruit if you're like the female protagonist, and you're in another house, all you need to do is ask him once, and he's like, I'm in. Like, you don't need to, because he just, like, his shtick is that, like, he's always chasing tail, you know what I mean?
Do I need to be getting as many people as I can? Is that a thing?
You don't need
I mean,
to.
is that good to do?
I mean, there's a cap of how many could be played in
there's a cap. Okay.
each. Well, no, in each map.
There's a cap in each map, right?
So
Gotcha.
it's like
So-
I don't like. I mean, unless
I'm not going to spend time.
Yeah,
upgrading
unless if you
people.
die a million people die and like you run out of people. But no, I don't think like you could probably stick to your team and be good. But
Gotcha. But there's no level upgrading in Tetris with Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem.
But if you reach 100 points, you unlock a theme, a Fire Emblem theme.
That's fun.
In the old switcheroo there.
They did that with Splatoon 2, which is cool.
Yeah, no, it's
So
cool.
I love the idea. And this game is coming out physically. Isn't that weird?
It's so weird.
Isn't that so weird? It comes out physically, and then you buy it, and then it comes with like a year
no
subscription.
cartridge in the box, and it's just a download code. No,
comes with a year subscription. But it's tying into the
that's
to
smart.
The,
that's smart to get people on the subscription.
Yeah. Now that's funny. Did we cover? I mean, we should probably cover the. Did we cover that last week? The SNES.
Yes.
I can't remember if we did.
Yes,
Control. We did.
Mm-hmm. Good thing you pay attention. Now, this next one, there were reports on Reddit and some other places that Nintendo would be replacing your Switch if you had purchased it after July 17th. That you'd be able to go in and get like the upgraded version. There were people who had called like customer support and they had gotten like Nintendo's, we will do that for you. We'll do a switcheroo. And like obviously there were a handful of people like, heck yeah, baby, I want to get that upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were other people like, oh, I bought it on July 15th. You know what I mean? Like, but then it came out, it said Nintendo released, we do not have a Nintendo Switch exchange program. We always want players to enjoy their Nintendo Switch systems, and if anything ever gets in the way of that, we encourage them to visit support.com, blah, 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 and talk to our support team. So I guess, I don't know, because there were multiple people who said they had talked to people, representatives from Nintendo that had claimed, like, yeah, you like send it in, and we'll do that. But then Nintendo came out and said, nah, brah, nah. So, I don't know. It's sort of strange.
So it's not true.
By this word, it is not true.
All
But
right.
I would encourage, if you did purchase it after July 17th, it might be worth a phone call at an absolute worst, because there's people that were claiming that they were doing it. If they sent it in already, like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what exactly is going to happen? So I just thought that was sort of interesting news. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the traditional news block, because
That was not very hearty at all.
no, well, but she's about to get hearty. Let me tell you what. We've got a whole ton of games here, and I mean, I almost just say, Justin, take the floor, man. Do you want to run through them, or do you want me to run off the title and you give? I mean, I see you've got. They're not quite 5-word reviews, but we got little blurbs for each.
Well, and I didn't know if you guys had thoughts on them or whatever.
I figured we could maybe, like, I don't know if you want to read out the game, your thoughts, and then like what Perry and I sort of think on it. I don't know if we want to go that route.
We're going straight through the indie world. Like we're just gonna
In the
like
dock.
the first game.
We've got it all out. All out
Yeah,
in the
this
open.
was the order they were
Gotcha.
presented in, pretty much.
Okay.
So the first one, it's called Risk of Rain 2. It's a
Loot.
roguelike. It's a roguelike, so they've moved. So the original was a 2D roguelike. This one they've gone to 3D. I've seen a lot of screenshots about it concerning it. I've seen a lot of people really positively responding to it on PC and stuff. I played the original, really liked the original. It was a hard game. So I'm curious to see, whether or not they've maintained the same level of difficulty. I mean, if it's a roguelike, I'll always pretty much play it. But that one they didn't have a definitive date. They just were calling it summer of 2019.
Which is, I mean, summer ends in the middle of September, technically, right?
Yeah.
So we should now this they put an emphasis on co-op, right?
Yeah, I mean, that
Or at
was
least
how the
it
video played up.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
how
if
the
there's
video.
online or anything like that. I mean, so that's where it's tricky. And roguelike multiplayer would
Well,
be
that's what I was
yeah.
intrigued by because, like you said, it sort of seems weird, right? But like, how cool would it be if it really nailed it, where you could jump in with a friend and it was a true roguelite or like experience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean, I like the graphics or the art
looks
style
nice.
is really cool, sort of cell shady.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm definitely. And you said you enjoyed one very tough game, but
Yeah, and it's a big change because the original one was very much aside from 2D, it was a very pixel art kind of look. So they really stepped up their
Wow.
game. So
Ramped it
it's
up.
this yeah, this is
Interesting.
a big change.
yeah, it looks cool.
Now this next one,
Oh
Eastward.
baby, oh baby.
It really what caught my attention. Obviously, just first off, the art style is just like really colorful, really unique and cool. Like it's almost like it's pixel art, right? But it's like it doesn't look like pixel art. You know, like it's really detailed. It's just really neat. I don't know, cool art style.
Yeah, and that was one of those that I'd not really heard of before. So, and they didn't really. You just sort of were cutting through multiple pieces of the gameplay, so it was really hard to discern exactly what's going on. I mean, it seems like an adventure, but aside from that, it was really hard to tell exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of
Post-apocalyptic
honestly,
world.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of Earthbound a little bit too. I don't know why, just like the way you move around and walk. And I don't think it's not an RPG. It's like an adventure game, right? Or
it
is
seems
it?
to be.
It looks like it's action adventure. You know?
It's indie RPG adventure are the tags on Steam. In a beautifully detailed and charming post-apocalyptic world, a miner discovers a mysterious little girl named Sam deep underground in a secret facility. Journey through the decaying cities, encountering strange creatures and even stranger people along the way.
Cool.
I mean, looks
cool
super
looking game.
Cool.
Cool logo also.
And it's Chucklefish. It now.
Mm-hmm.
That's Wargroove.
I think they're a publisher, right?
Yeah. Well, they didn't they did they make
they're the
Wargroove?
publisher. Yeah, it's Pixpool is the developer.
Because I think
they just published Stardew, but
yes, they do Stardew and they did Groove.
Yeah,
I think they did another game too. So I don't think they're
Spinner, yeah, they've got a bunch.
But I mean, they got a good. I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to Wargroove. I'm going to get that physically. Oh, show. I weighed it out and it's coming physically.
Boom.
Anyway, Eastward looks great.
This next game looks hilarious.
Yeah, dude, and you guys, it was probably one of the games. And the thing was, it was one of those that I'd walk by because when I was at PAX, my schedule is just booked. Like
he barely has time to breathe when he goes to PAX.
Yeah, I think in the 2.5 days I was there, I think I had like 2 half-hour slots that weren't scheduled. So it was one of those that Freedom Finger wasn't one of the ones that I'd scheduled. I'd never even heard of it. Mm-hmm. But the person who actually turned me onto it was Kirk Scott. He was like, "You've got to go see that game." So when I went over, it looked ridiculous. But then playing it, it's really so it's a side-scrolling shooter. And when you're watching it, you don't. It looks sort of weird. It's a hand with an extended middle finger. Which one thing that's great that they did. I was really disappointed they didn't lean into it more. Was if you look carefully at the video for the Nindy Direct, they have a censored bar over the finger. But it's like it's one of those things that it's so small it's easy to miss. I wish they'd leaned into that joke. Like it's like that was one of the things we discussed. Like how do you the discussion was, well, how do you promote something that that obviously is goes against the grain of the traditional Nintendo thing? It was like, oh, if you had a censored bar, that'd be awesome. But so it's there. I wish you could barely see it. Like it streaked by and you could see the censored. So they went to the trouble of doing it. But what you can see, so aside from your normal firing and you can punch things, which is nice, the big mechanic is the fact that if you see an enemy that like rather than you getting power-ups, so you can get like a triple shot or some other thing, what it is you'll see an enemy that has, say, a triple shot. You can sort of take a risk. You have to sort of sacrifice potentially some health, but get in close enough and you can grab them. And then once you grab them, you can either throw them, which can be useful in certain cases, but you'll be able to fire using their wave shot or whatever. So you can get some really cool and crazy sort of weapons. Now there are a couple that you can't grab. I found, and it's because it's like you'd see some hulking thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try to grab that. It's like, nope, you can't grab that. But the thing that's really crazy about it too, aside from they had some really good talent as far as the the voice acting and stuff. It's a ridiculous story filled with profanity and craziness. But the really crazy part is the music is incredible. Like I haven't heard a soundtrack with music like this since like Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast. Like really awesome, diverse music. So, and the thing that's really cool is the different stages sort of have a relationship with that music. Like not maybe beat for beat, but the art style and even the flow of the level will correspond somewhat to the music that's backing it, which is just really cool. A really great sort of demonstration of how much care they put into it. So yeah, this is absolutely one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most because I played it. They had a challenge, so I played it on like the hardest level. It was if you could get a certain score, and I got somewhere in the proximity of it. But yeah, it's like it ramps up to being really really hard. But it's really creative and really fun and silly and profane. It's it's great.
Yeah,
it's just a nation.
Yeah, I'm totally into it. Yeah. Shmup. I saw one of the clips is you're fighting a boss and it looks bullet hell, so it definitely that game looks amazing. Definitely on my radar as well. This next
that one's only showing fall of this year. So
God, just not in September. Wait till October. There's too many games in September.
Yeah, there's already a lot booked for
They're
September.
Probably gonna be like September 27th.
Final Fantasy VIII.
And every other game under the sun.
Yep. This next game looks pretty cool, though.
What have we got?
Rocky. Yeah.
That was another one of those that it really wasn't. It didn't have a lot to go by. Yeah. I mean, I really like in terms of art style, and the thing that struck me was the use of perspective. A lot of different camera angles and stuff like that, which just it's interesting and unusual. So it feels like it has a cinematic quality and stuff. So I'm curious to see how that translates into what you're actually doing.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
But it was really hard to tell it really is hard to tell what type of game it is even.
Definitely looks like an adventure game where it's more about
like that perspective shot's really cool.
Yeah, like a journey and just checking out like a cool spot. Visually
big
looks
dog on a
really
mountain.
cool. You know me, I'm a sucker for a game with a nice snow area. So, ooh, that's creepy back there.
Very cool looking.
Yeah, it almost seems like it could be sort of like a journey-esque kind of game, you know what I mean? Where it's more about, like, maybe it's not a super long experience, but it's more so, just about follow the adventure, right? Sort of enjoying the views and sights, and maybe there's some sort of, like, impactful moments throughout. But yeah, it looks cool. This next game here, Torchlight.
That one's winner of this year.
Oh, sorry, I keep winter apt with all that snow. I keep skipping over there. Yes. Torchlight 2. Now, this is a game I've played before, and it seems like our boy Justin is pumped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Torchlight man?
Torchlight, the original was very much an unapologetic Diablo ripoff. I mean,
it's from the makers of Diablo, I believe.
Well, there were a couple members of the team, right? But I mean, the music, it was hard to even say that it wasn't exactly Diablo's music. I mean, it was like, is somebody getting sued?
Yeah.
But Torchlight 2, they stepped things up. The original was a bit on the short side. Torchlight 2, they stepped it up with the ability to do, I'm assuming they're going to have the co-op multiplayer. The classes were definitely a little bit more unorthodox and non-traditional in the sequel. So yeah, I'm super excited to see it. I mean, I'm probably going to play the new season of Diablo 3, but eager to get my Torchlight on again because it's mechanically very similar, probably more like the original Diablos than Diablo 3, which is Yeah, 3 is its own thing.
Yeah, it's very much, yeah. I know a lot of people who, like, when, D3 came out, it was very much like a lot, obviously, like, the purists are too big of too hot on it, and I know, Torchlight 2 is a nice alternative. I played a little bit of it. I for whatever reason, I forget if there's just other things going on. Like, I didn't, dive or get hooked into it, but I'd be willing to give it a second chance. I wonder what the site's going to do, if maybe we can snag a code or something. That'd definitely be a game. Oh, excuse me. We could jam out on or something. And it's the beauty is just getting in it, right? It's one of those games you can get in and just those action RPGs where you just destroy stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, you get into the grind and the loot loop, and yeah, it's good stuff. And that one comes out September 3rd, so it's coming soon.
Right, yeah, right around the corner.
Yeah. And then the next one, I'm sure that nothing has been as good as Tony Hawk. I mean, nothing has even come close to.
People have tried.
So this one's Skater XL, and it looks kind of cool, even though some of the animations can look a little wonky. I don't know if it's trying to do the Tony Hawk thing or whether it's trying to just do its own. It's the perspective. It's not as pulled out as something like a Tony Hawk. But whether it's a combo crazy thing or whether it's more just sandboxy.
I'm hoping it's more like getting honestly, like skateboard simulation. Honestly, like instead of like kind of wacky. Because I remember, it's funny, there's this old skateboarding game, like Evolution Skateboarding on the GameCube. They had Evolution Snowboarding. But it was like Tony Hawk. It was kind of like the Pepsi version of Tony Hawk. Mm-hmm. But the thing is it was like really slowed down, and it was like really fun. And I liked it because like it's just like, instead of doing like this insane thing that would never be possible at all, it's kind of like you're just trying to nail, like actual realistic things, and I kind of hope that's what it's like.
So you like Pepsi is what you're saying?
I don't mind Pepsi.
You heard it here first, folks.
But yeah, this game looks cool. Also, there's wipeouts.
Yeah, it's totally going to be one of those games where you keep your eyes peeled for reviews, right? I'm interested because, like you said, like, people have been trying to replicate how much fun Tony Hawk was. And like I remember, I probably told this story before, but like back in the day, every Friday night I'd sleep over at my buddy's house and we'd go to Blockbuster and we'd rent a video game, and he had a PlayStation. So we'd always rent, a random game, and I would always pass out like super early, like, oh, we're going to stay up all night and play games, and then I'd, fall asleep. But not on Tony Hawk night. We got Tony Hawk, and oh my God, he passed out early that night, and I was just like, thank God, I just play this game all night. Like
Tony Hawk, one of the best platformers.
Good,
yeah,
so good.
What a great yeah.
Though at times you did feel like you were just contorting your hand in every direction at once. Just
yeah, totally. So what's this next one?
Oh, this one looks cool.
Europa, yeah, that one. It's kind of Skater XL. That's 2020, so that's a little far out. But
you got time.
Gotcha.
But Europa, it looks like it's got a creative element, which was hard to nail down. Like whether it's purely just you exercising your creativity and there's not an effect in particular. But mostly it looks like a perspective shifting adventure slash puzzle game.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. And
human fall flat
gameplay.
Yeah. So I'm curious if it's mostly platforming or puzzle but definitely visually it's pretty incredible looking. So
it is cool. It actually, you know what it reminds me of? Splatoon, like the campaign mode of Splatoon. Obviously not the gameplay wise, but like the look of it. It looks kind of like that. So.
It's so funny. Gravity-defying gameplay. Walk upside down on walls. In fact, walk anywhere you can get to. Your suction cup feet will let you stick to any surface. Solve complex logical and physical puzzles using your unique abilities.
Looks fun. Looks super fun, actually.
Yeah, that
Also
part at the end where
included-
it's sort of Minecrafty is where it's like, okay, what's going on there?
Here you go.
Yeah.
Also included is a creator mode that allows you to build and edit your own levels all while playing them. In fact,
okay.
all the levels in the main game were built inside the game itself.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
So that one's winner of this year. But yeah, it looks
Sounds
looks
like a
cool.
Perry game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it does. So that's fun.
Well, I think
Now-
we talked about this next game.
Yeah, we can probably just move on from Super Hot. I mean, it's cool. I mean, if we want to talk about it,
I
we
don't
can.
know. Justin has a yes with 2 S's and 4 exclamations.
Well, yeah,
Okay, let's talk about it then.
Well, it was one of those things that it was one of the last holdout of why isn't this game on Switch kind of thing. I've actually not. I think I played it briefly in a demo kind of situation, but I've never really played through it. It always has looked like one of those games that you really have to. It's one of those that people just tell you you've got to play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely. If I don't end up getting a code for it, definitely going to end up getting it at some point because it's too cool. Now it reminds me a lot of one that I played. There's a game that's coming up. I think it's Get to the Orange Door that I played at PAX that has super hot like elements. So that's the other reason I want to play this is to compare it to what I played at that game at PAX, which it comes out. I think it's set for this year. So it'll be interesting to see the contrast of those because it's another, very dynamic shooter. Things can slow down. And you get some. That one's very parkour oriented, so you get some crazy traversal going. So yeah, interesting. It'll be interesting to contrast those two games.
Boom.
And it's available today.
Right now. This next
Right
game
now.
looks actually pretty cool. Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Let's see, what do we got here? I just know visually look cool. Co-op game, right? So you're gonna be online.
It's a tower defense. It's a tower defense oriented.
Oh,
but
okay.
with some RPG.
Makes sense.
Yeah. There's like an
leveling
action
system,
component.
I believe, right? Let's see. Yeah, 4 unique heroes, a satisfying RPG leveling system, and an ever-addicting end game with procedurally generated loot. Boom, February 2020. So we got some time. But yeah, this like I said again, I like the look of it. Sort of
It's
that,
just happy and colorful.
Yeah,
and
very
I like
colorful.
that. If this is it split screen multiplayer or is it? It'd be cool if it's online.
Well, yeah, it says online. So you've got
so that's cool, right?
couch
And-
co-op and online multiplayer. So you got
right.
the best of both worlds.
So that's cool because I like that because I played games kind of. I don't know if you played Portal Knights, Justin, but obviously it's like kind of like a, just kind of, not so much fun, like not so much skill involved. Just and this one looks like it could be pretty frantic and fun to play together as a group. So
I'm trying to think of the game that it was on PC, hasn't come to Switch, and I had the first one, and I can't remember I know the main character looked a little bit like Ash Williams from Evil Dead, but it reminds me a lot of that, where it's like this. There's a component of it of tower defense, things that you can set up, but then it's supplemented by you having your own powers and doing your own thing. So you can sort of have a strategy for, I'm gonna set it. You could set things up at certain points, or you could be roaming and just sort of address things. So I like the variety and just how you have a lot of flexibility in how you choose to play it. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that turns out.
that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
So the next one, the Tourist, I think is what they call it.
It's like a Jules style game.
Yeah.
That voxel, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So-
right off the bat, visually, like looks really cool. Like just seeing the little voxel move throughout the little town, right? Is like, all right.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Made by Shinin.
Yeah, Shinin is the weird
world?
part.
Fast
You know?
RX, right?
Well,
Yeah.
they have sort of the callback to that with when they show him going into the little arcade. He plays an arcade game fast that
Does he?
that
And
looks
then Art of Balance, and it kind of reminds me of that little platformer they did, the Jet, or I forgot what it's called, for the 3DS. They made a couple of them. Anyway, this game looks awesome. Very, very cool.
I don't know what you're doing per se.
Hey, here's
Yeah,
the
there
fast.
it is. Yeah, there's the
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Awesome.
But yeah, it looks awesome. Action, adventure, arcade puzzle. You are just arriving at the Monument Islands. Want to go swimming or rather take a dive into the deep sea? Or do you want to visit the amusement arcade, do some shopping, dance at the beach party, fancy some surfing? Or will you talk with the strange old tourist and listen what he has to say about the ancient, mysterious monuments?
Yeah.
That's it. That's on Nintendo's site for the Blur.
It does look mysterious, so it's very cool looking.
Very, very weird. November 14th, we got our first holiday game, boys, from the Nindy scene. Yeah, definitely, I loved Fast RMX big time, so I am definitely interested.
And this looks exactly the same, so...
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, potato, as they say.
Yep.
Next up, though, we've got a game I believe all of us have played. I know Perry and I have.
Yep.
Good old Skellboy.
Yeah.
Our friends over at Fabraz are the publishers. And I know when they helped publish Martino's game, Spirit Sphere DX, I know they also, helped with some development side, or at least giving feedback and stuff. So I'm sure they've got their handprints on this as well.
Skellboy looks freaking sweet, and I actually was just talking with Fabian the other day. We're definitely going to have them on soon to talk about this game closer to launch. So, and they actually have a release date.
Yeah, we got a release date, December
3rd.
3rd. Nice.
There you go.
Nice holiday game too.
That's a really good time for this. So nice.
Yeah, it's so. I really had a blast playing this, and of course, like you said, we are friends with those guys. So, I don't think either of us will be reviewing this one for the site, but
yeah,
it just honestly was fun.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was honestly just fun. It's just such a really cool art style. Definitely.
Yeah, it's cool because you're kind of picking up stuff. Like body parts, and then like customizing and stuff like that. So very cool.
Well, and it's got that quirkiness to it that I really, I always like games that are just a little weird. It's just a little off center.
Yeah, they're
not really quite like anything you've played. Yeah, I really enjoy stuff like that.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you what, this next game definitely jumped off the page to me. Earth Knight. Now,
Earth Knight.
Yes, it is it's a platformer. And I'm looking at a procedurally generated platformer that takes place in a dystopian future just after the dragon apocalypse. Humans have been exiled to space, forcing to live in orbit above the planet. Each run begins in space. You must traverse 5 layers of the atmosphere on your journey down to Earth, alternating between skydiving and running on the back of dragons. Your path to Earth Knight will always be different and riddled with danger. So it just looks super cool, dude. I am I said,
looks hard.
Yeah, I had a couple that I was writing
it's
them
like,
down.
what the heck is going on?
And I circled my name, circled the name down. This is definitely one to check out, and this is
for sure.
And now just reading this too, that's cool that it's going to alternate between sort of the horizontal platformer, and then sort of like a more vertical, spatial one that way. Looks really cool.
Cool.
2019, no date outside of that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next game. What do we got, Justin?
That's back to the Hotline Miami Collection, which we already discussed. You got Shadow. It was, out of nowhere, Shadow Drop. They did
Boom.
And it's available right now on the Nintendo eShop.
Boom. There you go. Yeah, that's, like I said, we talked about it, but another highly anticipated Switch release. Like I said, it was one of those, everyone knew it would come sometime. It was just sort of a matter of when, and boom, there you go.
And
especially as much as Devolver had put out on the Nintendo Switch, it was like, what? How did they not? I mean, this is one of their this is one of the games that really defined their brand early on. So
totally.
Then we had a little sizzler reel, huh?
Yep.
Let's sizzle on.
Definitely harder to break down. But some of them were known, so it helped a bit. Blasphemous was the first one, which it's been around. They've shown quite a bit of it.
Very cool looking game.
Yeah, it's very violent. It's a side-scrolling slasher. And the thing that really is crazy with it is the animations. I mean, very, very elaborate animations in a lot of cases, which sort of heighten sort of the violence of it. But yeah, it looks challenging and just looks absolutely crazy.
Totally. Then we had Close to the Sun.
Yeah, and that one, it was hard to tell. I mean, like it made it look like a first-person RPG or adventure. It was hard to tell which.
Yeah.
You can see some puzzle-solving elements. And that one, all they had was 2019. Oh, and for Blasphemous, that one has a date of September 26th, so it's hitting your favorite date, pretty much.
Nice.
I'm looking at Close to the Sun, October 29th.
Oh, okay.
And you can buy it physically.
Nice.
Cool. They list it as adventure, other. So.
Okay.
Cat Quest. I've heard of that game before, I believe.
Well, this is the sequel.
This is the second one.
Yep. And the first one was really cute. It was a good action RPG. It was very
I've heard great things.
Huh?
I've heard great things about it.
It is very grindy. Like I didn't mind it. Like if you're willing to do the grinding, it was fine. Good for a light action RPG, basically. So I'm hoping that this one they managed to sort of bump things up a little bit, make it a little bit more diverse. But it was good. So the second one, and then it's cats, so there's an immediate built-in audience for it. So
Are you one of those? Are you a cat guy? You are, right?
No, I'm a dog person.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind cats, but yeah, I'm a dog person. But that one, all that we know is it's fall 2019. So
I would have put my money on you being a cat man.
Me too. You just seem like a cat man, and I don't mean that in any disrespect.
I could see him like laying on the couch playing the Switch with just a cat on his chest,
Right. Yeah, cats are too finicky. Like they just, it's that pet me. I hate you.
Yeah.
It's like I don't like that.
I hate that too. Now, what Casey was really wishing we'd have more of is another side-scrolling adventure with a distinctive art style.
I think we got
one. And luckily we got that with Spiritfarer.
Boom.
It was really hard to tell what. Yeah, aside from it looking nice and stuff, it was really hard to tell what you're doing.
I feel like they've shown this off before. Because
Maybe
I remember that sort of like the first screenshot on Nintendo's site is sort of like it's like a mini town built on like a barge in the ocean, And I feel like I remember that. It says Spitfire is a cozy management game about dying. You play as Stella, ferry master to the deceased, a Spiritfarer. Build a boat to explore the world, pick up spirits, and release them to the afterlife. Gather, produce, and consume resources while you guide your passengers across the mystical seas.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the concept. It sounds like a cool concept for a game. Yeah.
And that one's spring 2020, so it's pretty far out still.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now this next one, Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince. I've played Trine 2 on the Wii U, and it was pretty good.
They definitely bumped up the visuals. I mean, it's always been a good-looking game and very vibrant colors. Oh yeah. But look at those backgrounds, man.
I know, and now I think it steps into kind of 3D stuff.
Well, and it looks more dynamic this time around, is what I like. Because, I didn't mind the Trine games, but they just I really loved the Lost Vikings back in the day on Super Nintendo. So I appreciate that kind of concept. But something about Trine always felt a little bit too limiting in some fashion. I like the look of this, that it looks like your characters have a little bit more going on. I don't know. There's something about this one that it looks a little bit more creative or I don't know, fun. Because the other ones were always sound, but I didn't necessarily get very excited by it.
I did not get hooked on Trine 2. I mean, it was just gorgeous, but not good. Now, I need to mention this game is the weirdest thing because they are selling 3 different SKUs of Trine. You can buy the original 3 on one cartridge on Switch. You could buy Trine 4 on one cartridge on Switch, and you can buy the original 3 and Trine 4 on one Switch. It's so weird.
And Justin Berube will buy all of them.
Yes, and possibly me.
And you can do that on October 8th because they released the date.
not too far off. Not too far off.
So this next one, I feel like this is going to be up Justin's alley.
Oh
because
God, yes. Oh,
he is the pinball wizard.
This was possibly one of my favorite at PAX.
Creature in the Well.
Huh?
Creature in the Well.
Yes.
Man, look
And
at this game. This game's cool.
It's a mix of a slasher, puzzle. There's definitely puzzles, and then pinball is a major element of it. So you'll end up seeing these orbs that are flying around, which you can direct or even sort of absorb using a slash, and then you can redirect them to try to hit different objects or the bosses and stuff like that. It's very different, and there are good challenge rooms even early on. Like, it's one of those rooms that it's really difficult, and it's not mandatory, but it's like, it has that puzzle element, or there's a timed element, and if you manage to pull it off, you get like that little extra boost. You get like that extra little power up that isn't going to necessarily make the game simple all of a sudden. But I liked that right away there were these like rewards that you get to check out, and it comes out on September 6th, so it's coming really soon. But yeah, that may be it's definitely one of those games that it's unlike anything I've played. So immediately it has my interest, but it's very well thought out for the levels I was playing it, which included a boss fight. Very well constructed, very smart, and just very cool. So yeah, I'm all about that game, and
Sweet.
Great art style, sort of a Lovecraftian kind of feel in terms of the grim art style and stuff like that. It's got a really cool art style too.
Now, another game though that you played at PAX that you loved, correct?
Yeah, One Finger Death Punch, or One Finger Death Punch 2. Conceptually, you'd think that it's just it's a two-sided brawler, not all that big a deal. But man, I've been playing it on PC. Like I've probably put over time about like 8 hours into playing it. Like it's just, you get into a zone, and it's just so ridiculous. Like
get hooked
as you go. You'll do classic kind of ridiculous kung fu stuff, like you'll rip the dude's heart out. Like there's just all these crazy things, but but you really need to time it. Like it'll start even yelling at you for button mashing. Like it's all about the timing of it's very precise actually, but it feels great when you get into a zone with that. Not very complex, but yeah, it's a crazy amount of fun for being conceptually very simple. But that one, they have a date for it too, December 2nd. So yeah, if you're a big beat 'em up kind of fan, it's a different feel because you're not having to navigate and move around. It's purely attack to either side, but it is so much deeper than it would seem giving it a look, and it's a lot of fun.
This next game is
just, I was gonna say, it's your jam.
Nope. Best friends forever. Perry loves dogs and he loves waifus, so he's got 2 for 1 right here. Step off the bus at Rainbow Bay and start a new life with your fur F-U-R forever friend. Adopt a dog, find true love, and experience all the wacky hijinks in this colorful city has to offer.
Well, I think they emphasize
very wacky.
I think they emphasize that it's LGBTQ friendly as well. In terms of relationships and stuff like that, I think is something I saw. So very, very,
cast of singles,
very,
go anywhere, modern time life, experience modern
Cheese
love
ball.
at its finest, be whoever you want, love whoever you want,
Yep.
unwind at the long day
on
for
the top.
Doge. Boom.
If you see on the top right, cheese ball farted.
Oh no.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
Now,
and that one is. Do we have a date for that?
Yeah, does it give it? I don't think it. Yeah,
February 14th of next year.
Valentine's Day, baby. This next one we've all played.
We've played, yeah.
Fun.
Fogs.
Yeah, Fogs. It's amazing. It's from Coatsink, and we knew that it was coming. They never did and officially announce it. But this game was fun, Casey. I think there might be footage of us playing this.
The old nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game,
it's a fun game.
Super fun. I really, like you said, it's sort of, you think, all right, Fogs, like, or whatever, like, looks sort of like a weird, dumb sort of, but no, super fun. Definitely some fun couch co-op, for sure.
I was surprised how creative it was.
In
the levels I played, because where the one end you end up grabbing the light And so like just it was one of those like when you first play it, it's sort of like, oh yeah, the two sides grab stuff. But
No,
they
it's
managed
really
to do
creative,
something
yeah.
with that idea. Yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
did a lot more with the idea than I'd expected. So I was really impressed by that.
Yeah,
And
I know.
it might not be
Remember-
perfect for multi-generational, like playing with your kids. It definitely thematically is just right. And I think it might
Yeah.
be simple enough, but I could see where some of the mechanics it might be a little tricky, but
Mhm.
it's definitely very friendly to family play, which is nice too.
And that's early 2020. Boom.
Yep.
Now this
Sweet.
next one, I always love a good golf game. So what?
Well,
the
it's not a golf game though. It's
Then I hate it.
really
No, I'm
it's
kidding.
really not a golf game.
Well,
um,
here,
it
real
has
quick,
the base
title,
of a golf. It
the
has
golf
the base
game
of golf.
for people who hate golf.
Yeah, and it is
I don't
super
hate
funny.
golf.
Like there was a huge crowd watching people play this at PAX because it is just they're like they managed not to ruin any of it, I guess, in the trailer because they do show that it's a bit unorthodox and it's really not a golf game. They give you that idea,
Mhm.
but you know at PAX I saw a level that was based on Super Hot that was really cool and really creative, and then there was another one that featured a plumber that looked very familiar. That everybody was just dying laughing. I mean, because
That's
like
good.
because yeah,
It
so
seems kind of like the pool panic of golf.
yes, no, and yeah, definitely a very good and since I love pool, it was one of my top games.
Yeah.
Definitely instantly interested in this. It's down for winner of this year, but definitely if you like games that have a real sense of humor and are a little weird and different, definitely one worth checking out.
Nice. Now, what's this next one?
This one, man, I had a hard time. I mean, they showed so little. It
Cell
looks like
shaded.
looks like a 3D puzzler of some. I mean, well, 2D, but then
Shall
it
we
has a
dance?
3D element.
Yeah, 3D narrative puzzle game about three daring mechanics that aspire to be musicians. Embark across a theatrical dreamscape by solving a wide variety of increasingly difficult 3D puzzles.
Okay.
They struggle to form a band and find their big break.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks complex.
We'll probably learn more about this. So
Yeah, it says 2019, nothing else. So, we might find out sooner than rather than later. Next up, we've got Hypercharge Unboxed.
Mm-hmm.
Now-
Whoa! Look at this game.
Yeah, first-person toy soldier game.
Yeah,
It looks.
it gives
It's
you Toy
amazing.
Story vibes, right?
Yeah.
Or like the Army Men games of old.
Yeah. Small soldiers.
Yep.
Very cool. Very
Nice.
cool. That is also a winter.
That game looks
winter
awesome.
2019.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Next
hopefully,
up, we
hopefully
have-
they run with the ideas. What do we got
Yeah.
next, Jerkum?
Northgard from Shiro Games on September 26th. This is it's like a Viking strategy game. And I know that this is coming out physically from Signature Games as well, so I've kind of been following it a little bit.
It looks
When
great.
games come out physically, I follow them.
He needs
But
that.
it does look
physical
cool.
Feeling.
I love me strategy games, you know.
Oh, September
There's some
26th.
skill.
But why? But why?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, it
But
looks
this
cool.
next one, dude, not to shadow over it, but this next one, Sparklight, also coming from Signature Games, I believe. This game looks awesome. It's so pretty. I mean, I know that like we've had our fair share of pixel art. I mean, but this game is just gorgeous. I mean,
Well,
like the colors and
They
stuff.
got
are
some
just
Zelda-looking
beautiful.
enemies in there. I tell you what.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like a roguelike Zelda. So
Yeah.
when I played it at PAX, I don't know if it still will be tuned at all, but it's legit hard. Like it was kicking my butt. So definitely. Well,
Uh-oh.
in a
Perry doesn't
roguelite,
stand a chance.
I don't.
like I said, I don't know what I was playing. You know, who knows at what point in the game you're playing or stuff like that. But it wasn't hard until you get sort of the bosses. But the bosses definitely you have to have a plan, and
It requires some finesse.
This is
Yeah,
this is going.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that boss with the feet stomping that thing, and that dude was kicking my butt. He was tough.
This is going
Wow.
on the radar though for sure. This game looks
Yeah.
sweet. And it
Yeah.
actually on their website November 7th.
Oh, good.
So we got a nice little release date for
There
that.
we go.
What do we got next?
All right.
Here?
Munchkin Quacked Quest.
That's a
From-
mouthful.
Lucky Hammer Fall 2019. This is like a card game.
And then it gets into an
And
action,
then-
top-down action
In
RPG-like
Munchkin
thing.
Right.
Collect Quest, confront your friends or forge alliances with other players to accomplish your unlikely objectives. Gather gold, sacrifice other players to the game master, eliminate the enemy foes from reanimated skeletons to potted plant, and even the plutonium dragon, and reach the highest level to become victorious. So it looks like it's maybe sort of like a sort of Dungeons and Dragons-esque game, right? The game master. You could play solo or co-op couch mode with up to 3 other players and face dungeons where enemy lurks. Yeah, so it sort of seems
We get it.
almost sort of Dungeons and Dragony-esque.
Nice.
That looks interesting.
And then,
But then
the Megaton.
the Megaton. What
Yes.
was it?
Yeah,
Ori
the
and
big drop.
Blind
Another
Forest.
Xbox exclusive. I mean, so that was a big coup for Nintendo again.
Yep, the definitive
Yeah.
edition, right? So was there Ori DLC? I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So definitive edition. I imagine it comes with all the goodness. Yeah,
It's freaking gorgeous. I'll give it that.
I've heard
heard it's-
so much
yeah.
about this game, and it's always been one like if I
Yeah.
had an Xbox, it would have been a day one
Yes.
purchase. You know.
And I have an Xbox and still wasn't because I was like,
That,
I was like, for sure it's coming out. I mean, like all good games come to Switch.
yeah.
tell me-
Once God, what was the other Xbox game? Now that Cuphead.
Cuphead.
Once Cuphead came, I
Yep,
think
it was
everyone
like,
were
all bets
was
are
like,
off.
Ori's coming. Like it. You
Yep.
know. But
Yep.
yeah, it's super tough. From what I've seen, like it's definitely a challenging game.
And it
I'm gonna
looks
say
it looks
this.
varied,
I'm not-
is what I like. It doesn't look like it's just the same stuff.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not a
it
one
looks like
trick
it's
pony.
constantly changing
Yeah,
what you're
I mean,
doing.
it looks really. I mean, it's probably one of the most gorgeous platforms I've ever seen. I mean, it's just amazing, right?
I feel like
I
we
mean,
said that 3 times.
right?
This.
But I mean, like, look at it though. I mean,
No,
it's unbelievably good.
insane.
I was going to say cynically that I think that this got a little praise because it was an Xbox game, and unlike most Xbox games, I feel like it wouldn't be such a huge thing if this was a Switch game, like kept coming out originally. Like I don't think it'd
I don't
be
know, man. Look
as
at
big
that.
as it is.
Look
I
at
mean,
that
it's
game.
amazing. Amazing. I know it is. It's awesome. But-
I'm definitely interested. And now I'm curious. Well, first off, September 27th. I
Yeah.
mean, the good thing is it's soon.
It's got, dude. maybe
because
did they say it's coming physically?
no,
'Cause that would be so.
Did
sweet.
Cuphead come physically?
no.
No. Oh, it is coming physically. It is
Oh.
coming physically.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Then,
doesn't-
then I would imagine Cuphead would be the test.
but
Yeah.
But I wonder. So now Ori has a sequel coming out to Xbox in early 2020. I'm curious if and how long they wait to bring
Yeah.
that over.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure
It's
if this
coming.
game sells like hotcakes, they might bring it over sooner rather than later. But
But how funny that like this little collaboration with
Oh, yeah,
Microsoft.
like I said, I just-
it's like
I just waited. I wanted to see that like Xbox Game Studios like logo on the Switch Direct.
hey, look at that Xbox, and there it is. Yep, it says it on the. I mean, not the logo, but yeah,
Well, at
I mean,
the very
crazy,
end, they
right?
do, yeah, it's
yeah. I mean, it's just
Awesome.
fun, and I mean, what it's like now. It's kind of like. I mean, I know we're. I mean,
I think
it's
Microsoft
kind of
is like
Xbox. And,
the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Screw
But now-
Sony,
now-
yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, it's like, hey, we can sell our games literally on 2 different platforms and
and
make,
yeah, and
make
they're
twice
already
the
on
money.
they're on
You know.
PC too, right? So then they
But
can
why
be like,
haven't-
hey, Ori
Yeah.
is on everything except PlayStation 4.
I know. So I mean, you see this, and it's like, oh my goodness, they're going to be releasing all their Rare stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah,
coming.
that's
I mean,
why isn't Rare Replay? Rare
GoldenEye is
Replay
coming.
is going to be like printing money. I
That-
mean,
yeah.
I bet you that's
Dude.
going to be next year. Like that'll
Oh,
probably
yeah.
be like next year's E3. Like, hey guys, have at it.
Totally. Yeah.
getting to play Blastcore again. I'm just, I love
Dude,
Blastcore.
I mean, I know, and like, I hope. I mean, imagine you get Rare Replay on the Switch box. I mean, that's going to be everyone's. I mean, especially if they put. But dude, I mean, imagine Rare Replay with Nintendo stuff too. You know what I mean?
Rare
Like
Replay Definitive Edition.
with Donkey Kong 64. I mean, I know that's a stupid game, but I mean, like, still, like that'd be cool,
DK
right?
rap is that's everybody knows the DK.
What is
rap.
it? Let's see.
Donkey.
What's the other rare?
He's the
Is there
leader
other?
of the bunch.
Conquer. Or wait,
Out here, what?
Yeah, Conquer.
Oh, I guess they could put like. I guess they could have like. I mean, how crazy would it be like Star Fox
Adventures.
I mean, I know again, bad game, but I mean, I'm just saying like. No, I guess they'd have the Donkey Kong Country trilogy on that.
Mhm.
How insane would that be, right? They could do it. I mean,
They won't.
I think I would not put that out. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I'm just saying they it's like why not make lots of money? You know.
Yep.
So.
Well, that was the Nindy or the Indie World presentation there. Bunch of good stuff.
Showcase.
A lot of games that weren't on the radar but are now on the radar, and
very impressive looking
stoked.
games.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you, Justin, for coming on and giving us the rundown. It's always
You
a
really
pleasure.
are the Ninder sect.
Yes. The man himself, the national
Yes.
treasure.
I love it. I love how you can just cross. What do you call it? Like any game. Like you are the database.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Your brain is
mainframe.
going to be kept in the Smithsonian.
He is the mainframe.
Yeah.
So we have it here for the visual audience. They can see where you're at right above your head. But why don't you tell the people who are listening on the podcast, where can they find you and all the stuff you've been doing?
Easiest place to always find me is at Nindy Spotlight on Twitter. But then Nintendo or Nindy Spotlight is the site itself. But like Twitter is definitely the easiest entry point. So any of the Let's Play videos I post and the reviews and all, you can all find it all on Twitter.
He's a great database for when I've used like so many of your videos like to get to get soundtracks for our podcast, like to download and stuff. So great database there.
The database,
So,
baby.
it's
Yeah,
just
I think
all
I've-
straight gameplay.
I think I've got and I think I've got like
4
almost
million
13.
games.
I think I've got almost 1,300 videos now of gameplay, and then I've
That
definitely
is
crossed over 900 reviews now. So
You're an absolute
That is
tank.
just insane. Yeah.
You're truly a national treasure. I'll keep saying it.
But Casey, I don't know if you want to start playing our outro theme music. You might want to.
Well, I was thinking that's the one dubbed Talk Nintendo podcast theme. Is it going to start
Yeah.
out low for me?
No, you might. Can you fade?
I don't think I can. Not on this here version. So don't
Probably
worry.
because you're using a PC.
Yeah, I'll pop it. Well, we're like I said, we're changing up the way we're doing things because Purry had to go and have a little baby.
Sorry,
so,
yeah.
So we're doing this a little
Hey,
differently.
by the way, do you see back here? Can you see
The
that?
squid, not on
The
camera.
squid that you got me?
unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I
Gotcha.
can, but yeah, not on.
We'll show
video.
it sometime.
But yeah, so we're gonna work out the kinks with the jingle jangles, and we're gonna they're gonna be
The
good.
jangles.
For
But
now,
yeah,
they're
thank you so
little-
much.
but-
Thank you so much for coming on, Justin.
Yes.
Of course, you can find us. What?
Where can you find us?
At Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo.
POD.
Yes, and of course, one of the coolest things you can do is support us at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/NWR. That's patreon.com/.
NWR, baby. That's right.
And you for there, if you even just for $1, you can get exclusive episodes of Talk Nintendo and Radio Free Nintendo. And if you do the $5 tier, you get Talk Nintendo 1 day early. Oh my goodness, every week. So consider doing that. It really helps us in that video format. So thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you all next week on Talk Nintendo Podcast.
Yes. We love you
episode
guys.
154. We do love you.
And we love you, Justin.